Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Donna Just Being Real. My channel is all about dating, love, relationships, toxic relationship advice channel. And we back at this topic again. Yes, I'm going through the whole family tree. Yes, I am. Okay? We're going to get back into it. So we're going to get back into this sleazeball right here by the name of Johnathan Quiles. Yeah, he's a sleazeball. He's a piece of crap. If you need to know what's happening, make sure you read the description so you can find out exactly what this trial is about, which he was found guilty the other day. So thank God he's guilty. He'll never be able to walk the streets again and touch another child. Not at all. So, alright, this monster basically married a woman, and he started messing with his wife's nieces. Yeah, his nieces. But one of them, he impregnated, and then he murdered because she was having his baby. He couldn't have that. He just couldn't have that. So you figure doing this, your life is going to be better. Now you're going to be in prison with a bunch of slime balls like you. So good luck. Good luck. All right, so, you do something wrong, this is what's going to happen to you. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on, right? We're going to get into the mother on the stand. We're going to get into the father on the first. We're going to start with the father. We're going to start with the father on the stand. Then we're going to get into the mother on the stand. And after the mother, we're going to get into the grandmas. Yes, grandma on daddy's side and grandma on mommy's side. So we're going to hear what they have to say. And what you do is you make sure you hit the like button, share your thoughts and opinions, and in the comment section, tell me what you think it is. Are you watching trial? I mean, do you think the family could have did better to protect the children or not? They did fine. I don't know. Whatever it is, just share your thoughts. Just be respectful. That's it. And if you need to reach out to me, you can find my email in the description. And when you find the description, if you have a viewer's request or something like that, or if you need coaching in dating, love, relationship, toxic relationship, anything like that, feel free and you can contact me. There's my email address. All right, so we're going to get into this trial again. And we're focusing on, I believe this was on day one. I think it was on day one. I could be wrong. But we're focusing on the father right now. The father's on the stand. And the name of the father is... Oh, boy. I forgot to... Willie Sawyer. Willie Sawyer, that's the name of the father. Then after the father, we're going to get into the mother. Then after the mother, we're going to get into the grandmas and hear what they have to say. But first now is the father. So make sure you hit the like, share your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and share me out on your social media. Let's get it. This guy was a true slime ball. Just mess with all these girls. And also, feel free to check out my past commentaries. I've done plenty of commentary on this, and there's going to be more to come because the next one is going to be the aunties. The whole family tree is on here, right? Woo, Lord have mercy. Let's get it.
Sir, come on forward.
And I forgot to add, when we do recaps over here, I usually have it on a faster speed, because if not, we'll be here forever. But if it's too fast for you, hit the setting and adjust it to your liking, whatever's comfortable for you. No problem. All right, the speed is on 1.5, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
All right, sir, come over here to your right. Watch your step as you come forward. If you need a glass of water or something, let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate you. If there's an objection made to your testimony, just don't answer the question until I roll in the objection, and then we'll go from there. Okay. That said, state, may inquire, you're ready.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Good afternoon, actually.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Willie Sawyer, Iyana's father.
And does she share the same last name as you?
Yes.
Okay. Just moving forward, we'll refer to her as IS. So thank you, sir, for telling us, though.
Okay.
Is she your only daughter?
No, I have two daughters.
And does your other daughter have the initials SS?
Yes.
And is their mother Kim Mobley?
Now, IS is the beautiful young lady who died by that monster. And SS is her sister. So he has two daughters with this lady. And he was messing with both of his daughters. Piece of crap, this slime ball right here. Just look at him. Look at him. Messing with these girls and trying to get with the other girl, little girl too. Well, watching my past commentary, you can hear her on the stand. All right, let's get it.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you generally live here in Duval County?
Yes.
And how long have you lived here in Duval County?
Almost all my life, 20-some years, plus years.
And what do you do for a living?
I actually do all types of stuff, handyman.
And you've talked about your two daughters. Do you have other children?
Yes, my stepkids. I have 4.
Now, back in 2018, did your daughters live with you or their mother?
Their mother.
And did you have a good relationship with IS and SS?
Yes.
Now, where do your parents live?
They stay in Columbus, Georgia.
And is that Nancy and Clifford Ware?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you go visit them?
Often, every now and then.
When you get the time off, probably.
Get the time off.
6 kids can keep you busy, that's for sure. Yes, sir. Now, were there times that you would take your children, including IS and SS, up to Georgia?
Yes.
And in the summer of 2018, did you take your children to Georgia?
Yes.
And when you all were in Georgia, were you all focused on the family?
Pretty much, yes.
And were the activities family-based?
Yes.
Now, at some point, sir, before I get to that, actually, would IS come over and visit you?
Yes.
How often do you think that she would actually stay the night at your house?
It was mostly weekends.
And as she got older, was it a little less?
Yeah, a little less.
However, did you maintain communication with her?
No longer than 2 weeks the most.
And so you would not go longer than 2 weeks without speaking to your daughter? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Would that include SS as well?
Yes.
And how would you communicate with IS?
It's both texting and phone calls.
Did you ever use any social media to contact her?
We had social media, but never really on social media. I call her or text her.
Yes, sir. Now, in December 2018, do you recall the last time you had seen her?
The last time I actually seen her is when she was in Georgia. That was the last.
So that would have been the summertime of 2018?
Yes.
And I think you said that you had communicated her about 2 weeks prior to why we're here today?
Yes.
Now, did you learn that IS was pregnant?
Yes, I did.
Who told you IS was pregnant?
My mother.
Is that Nancy Ware?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity, without going into statements, to speak with IS about it?
No.
Now, how did you find out that IS never came home from school on December 19, 2018?
My kid's mother and my child actually called me and let me know.
Would that be SS?
Yes.
I just want to make sure you did not hear from, did you hear from IS on that day?
Maya? Yeah, yes, I heard from Maya.
And is that a nickname for SS?
Yes.
That's okay. I know it's difficult. You don't refer to your child with initials. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. So I know it's odd. So I appreciate your patience with that. Just to be clear, you heard from your daughter SS on that day.
Yes.
Did you hear from IS on that December 19th day?
No.
After you learned that she did not come home from school, did you attempt to contact her?
Yes.
And was that through the telephone?
Yes.
Were you able to?
No.
Did you help look for IS?
Yes.
May I just have one moment? So my last question for you, sir. Have you had any contact with IS since she left Terry Parker High School early on December 19, 2018? When I say contact, sir, I mean letter, email, phone, social media, through a third party. Any contact, Mr. Sawyer, with your daughter?
No.
No further questions. Good afternoon, sir. I'll be brief. My second to last question to you was, did you help search for IS after she went missing? And you said you did.
Yes.
In fact, you actually looked where you lived at that time, correct?
Yes.
And can you tell us the name of the apartments that you lived at that time, what they were called?
Azalea Ridge?
Okay, at the Azalea Ridge apartments, you searched around and talked to people to try and find out if IS had been there, if they'd seen her.
Yes.
Okay. Was that based on information that you received that she had been there?
Not really. I was just looking anywhere.
Did you ever?
The,
Sorry.
the,
Go ahead,
school,
finish.
the school is pretty much right by the apartment, so
Okay, and you're within 5 minutes of the school, Terry Parker School.
yes.
Okay. Did you ever receive information that IS was believed to be at your apartments?
Yes.
Okay. And so you searched before you found that out, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. After you found out that she was believed to be where your apartments were, did you search again? Did you go around and talk to people?
Yes.
Okay. Did you interact with anybody that knew her?
I tried to, but I never got a chance to reach that person.
Okay. So there was a person there that you believe knew IS, but you never did get a hold of them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that person, to this day, you've never been able to get a hold of them to find out anything?
No.
Okay. Did you provide that information to police?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know if police followed up on that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. As far as you know, they didn't, but you're not sure. Is that correct?
Yes.
One moment. You talked about your parents. Your parents, they have a great relationship with your daughters, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you said that the last time you had seen IS in person was when they were spending the summer.
Asamira, I don't know. I might be pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sorry if I'm butchering up. But you said, and welcome to Donna Just Being Real. He was along with the mother, all bad actors, with Quiles being the star. You ain't monitoring social media and her contacts. Something to think about. I just don't understand how all this happened. I just, wow. This man was able to come into this family and move on to all these little girls like this. Well, let's watch it. Let's watch it together. And Paula, welcome, welcome, welcome. What else did you say? He's supposed to be on trial for changing Quilt's life. I'm lost on that. If you could repeat that one, I'm lost on that one. All right, let's get back to it.
Summer of 2018 with your parents in Columbus, Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually were there in Georgia with them, visiting during that time period that they were staying with them?
Yes.
Okay. After that, the only contact you had with them was on the phone or text?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, do you know who Johnathan Quiles is?
I met him one time ever in my life.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've never really known him in any capacity outside of the one once meeting him?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever heard any allegations, any accusations, or anything along those lines of Johnathan Quiles having a sexual relationship with your daughter, IS?
No.
And your other daughter, too. This man was messing with both of your daughters. This is insane. This man is a true sleazeball. He didn't love that woman that he was married to. He just got with her because it was all these
Exactly that
little
time period
girls.
in the summer of 2018. Were you with them that whole summer, or did you just visit like on the weekends when you were off from work?
Pretty much the whole summer.
Okay, so you spent that summer with them there.
Yes.
And did they have friends and know people in the area?
No, normally when I have my kids.
Okay, it says I have 47 people in here if I'm correct. And I only have 10 likes. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, hit the likes. People in bushes, hit the likes. All right, this is really interesting today. Make sure you hit the like and share your thoughts. All right, resume.
Yes, they're pretty much in my eyesight. They don't even leave my side for real.
Understood. Thank you so much, sir. Nothing further. No further questions, and this witness can be excused by the state. I'm not sure if the defense is okay.
You guys can handle that outside me. Mr. Sawyer, good to see you, sir. Have a good rest of your day.
Me too.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the music while you wait while I switch over to the other one. What did Denise says? What I noticed there was some mistake made by both parents. I'm sorry as a parent. I'm going to get to the bottom of whom the father of my child pregnancy. It wouldn't be no, oh well. Exactly. I want to know immediately. Who you pregnant by? Who? All right, and everybody enjoy the music. Thank you for sharing that, Denise. All right, everybody enjoy the music while we switch over to the next one. We're gonna get to Mama on the stand. Mama, let's hear what Mama got to say. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going down the family tree. We just did Daddy. Now we get ready to do Mama. Let's see what Mama have to say on the stand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Hit the like.
You guys may have a seat. Members of the jury, welcome back. Hope you had a nice mid-morning break. We'll probably take a same lunch break like we did the past couple days, depending on the flow of testimony, but I don't plan on being any later than it was the past few days. With that said, State, you may call your first witness.
Kimberly Mobley, Your Honor.
swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Ms. Mobley, good morning to you, ma'am. Just have a seat. Just watch your step as you come forward. If you need a glass of water or something, let us know. We'll certainly do our best to accommodate you. The only request I would make is that if there is an objection made at some point during your testimony, just let me rule on the objection before you start talking, okay? You can adjust the microphone as you necessary.
Can I have a couple more, please?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
With that said, Ms. French, remain quiet. You're ready.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, my name is Kimberly Mobley.
And ma'am, can you spell your last name?
It's Mobley.
And where do you generally live?
In Arlington,
Is that here in Jacksonville?
that is Jacksonville, Florida.
And how long have you lived in the Jacksonville, Florida area?
38 years.
Would that be your whole life?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in the medical field.
And how long have you been practicing in the medical field?
13, almost 14 years.
And ma'am, do you have children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
And could you please tell me their initials, and if you could just tell the first 2 their date of birth and the second 2 just current ages, please.
Okay. The first 2 date of birth is September 6, 2002.
And can you give the initials of that child, ma'am?
Yes. IS.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to make sure that we don't speak at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, ma'am. It's all right. And your second child, ma'am?
SS, September 25th, 2003. And then September 17th, 2005.
And what's the initials of that child?
SG.
And is that a son?
Yes.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And you said you had a 4th child?
Yes. KM, May 11, 2009.
And up until recently, did all of your children live with you?
Yes.
When I say recently, I'm referring to your 3 youngest. Is that a yes? Okay. And is your oldest daughter, your second oldest daughter, SS, has she graduated high school?
Yes.
Now, are your 2 younger children still in school?
Yes.
Now, does IS and SS have the same father?
Yes, they do.
And what is his name, ma'am?
Willie Sawyer.
And could you spell his name, please, for the record?
Yes, it's WILLIE
And are you currently in a relationship with their father?
No.
And how long have you not been in a relationship with IS and SS's father?
Maybe like, I think, close to like 16 years, 17.
So the 2 of you ended your relationship early on after having SS?
Yes.
And does Mr. Willie Sawyer live here in the Duval County area?
Yes, he does.
Well, let me read what Paula says right here. And everybody, make sure you get these dates and times of everything. You know, this is important. Put stuff together. All right, Paula says, I remember during the trial, one of the aunties, that's the next thing we'll do. Not today. I'm going to get the aunties. Yeah, we got 2 aunties that was on the stand. Everybody was on the stand, right, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody. I remember during the trial, one of the aunties suggested that the family were tight. So how was Quiles' conduct not in question? Great question. This was apparently going on for years. That's what I'm saying. Because she's going to say, the mother on the stand, Paula, she's going to say on the stand that she known him for like 10 years. So if she got her daughter pregnant at 16, so her 2 daughters was like, what, 5 and 6? And he was around. Because he used to help watch her children when they was little. You see? Oh my God, he had so many years of grooming these girls. These girls fell in love with him. They thought that they had a relationship with this man. Oh, he's going in a handbasket. I'm so glad he'll never be able to walk the streets again. All right, let's get back to it. And everybody who's creeping through the back door, blessings, and a happy blessing Sunday. Let's get it.
Now, ma'am, do you have a big family?
Yes.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 4 sisters, a brother.
And could you tell us their names, please?
Yes, my brother is James Mobley. My older sister is Johnathan Mobley. Then there's Margiela Mobley, Naomi Mobley, and Paula Mobley.
And could you just please spell Johnathan for us?
Yes, it's JAMETTA.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And do all of your sisters live here in the North Florida area?
Yes. Oh,
When you say yeah, you can explain a little bit more if you need to.
well, yes. One saying Willie. I'm not sure what I can consider.
So would that be Nassau County?
Yes.
Okay, just north of us?
Yes.
Okay. And is that just one of your sisters?
It's Johnathan and Margie.
Okay. Does Paula and Naomi live a little bit closer?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your mother's name?
Winella Haynes.
Can you spell her first name, please?
Yes, it's WINELLA.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, are you close to your sisters?
Yes.
Are you also close with any of their spouses or partners?
I would say yes, we're close.
And would that be obviously the relationship?
Family, yes.
Remember, make sure that we don't talk over each other.
Sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. I know it's hard. Now, back in 2018, was your sister Naomi Mobley married?
Yes.
And who was she married to?
Johnathan Quiles.
And do you recall approximately from today's time frame that you had become acquainted with a Johnathan Quiles?
You asking how many years?
Yes, ma'am.
If it's from today, maybe 10 years. I'm not sure.
But give or take almost a decade.
Yes.
From today's time frame. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And is your sister still married to him today?
No.
Would you recognize this person, Johnathan Quiles, if you saw him again?
Yes.
Would you please take a moment and look about the courtroom to see if you recognize the person you know to be as Johnathan Quiles?
Yes.
And you just nodded your head. Do you see the person that you know to be Johnathan Quiles?
Yes.
Could you please identify that person, where they're located, and two, something that he is wearing?
Yes. He is sitting by Michelle at a table wearing a blue button-down shirt with his hair in a ponytail.
And is he wearing glasses?
Yes.
And Your Honor, let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
So reflected.
Now, back in 2018, did Naomi Mobley have any children?
Yes.
How many?
One. She had one at a time.
And was that a daughter or a son?
A daughter.
And was she quite young at the time?
Yes.
And were her initials NQ?
Yes.
Since 2018, has Naomi Mobley had another child?
Yes.
And was that a son?
Yes.
And was that son born in earlier 2019?
Yes.
And is the defendant the father?
Yes.
Now, I want to draw your attention to your oldest child, IS. Back in 2018, we'll talk about the fall time frame. Was she in school?
Yes.
Where was she attending?
She was attending Terry Parker High School.
What grade was she in?
She was in 10th.
How did she get to school normally?
She would ride the bus.
Now, your other daughter, SS, was she in middle school or high school back in the fall of 2018?
High school.
And what grade was SS in?
9th.
Was IS considered a homebody?
Yes.
And why is that?
She enjoyed being around family.
Where are the places, generally speaking, that IS would frequent?
To my house and my sister's house.
When we say sister, you've got four.
Naomi house.
Now, were you working full-time back in 2018?
Yes.
And did Naomi Mobley help you when you were at work?
Yes.
Now, was Naomi Mobley the only one in her household that would help you with your children?
No, she wasn't.
And who else would assist?
Her husband, ex-husband, Johnathan.
The defendant that you've identified?
Yes.
And
Lady Jim, you hear that, right? So this sleazeball right here was helping to watch the children. You was watching them way in the beginning since they was little girls. Embedding in them, just ooh. I feel someone should have been aware of prior to the killing. Exactly. It just doesn't add up, Nikki. It doesn't add up. How was he able to get to these girls like that? All right, let's get back. Let's hear what else Mommy has to say. Resume. We just already showed the father, so now we on Mama. And after Mama, we're gonna show the grandmas. Grandma on Daddy's side and Grandma on Mommy's side. Yep, the family tree. But not today. The next day, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We're going to phase 2. But I will be showing the aunties on the stand. Anybody lets me know, the replay watchers or here now, did the uncle was on the stand? Because they mentioned the uncle. Was he on the stand? Let me know. Resume.
would that include all 4 of your children or a variation of your children?
Sometimes all 4.
Were there occasions where just your 2 daughters would go over to the defendant's home?
Yes.
Now, did the defendant live in Naomi Mobley, your sister? Did they live far from you?
I wouldn't say too far, no.
Did they live at more than one location back in 2018?
I want to say it was just one location at 2018.
And do you remember where that was at?
It was off of 16th Street.
What about did they ever live at a location off of Trout River Road?
Yes.
Was that the second home they had lived in?
Yes, it was.
Now, did IS have a close group of friends?
Yes.
Can you just tell us their names, please?
Some of their names are Alberta, Marie, Haley, Sabria.
Had your daughter IS known them for years?
Yes.
And would that include elementary school?
elementary, and some I would say kindergarten.
Would IS go over to any of her friends' homes?
Not really. She visited Sabria before a few times, but she never stayed the night.
In fact, did IS ever stay the night at any of her friends' homes?
No.
Where are the places that IS would stay the night?
My house and her house, Naomi.
Was IS a good student?
Yes.
In fact, did she have straight A's?
Yes, she did.
And was IS preparing for college?
Yes, she was.
Did IS have a cell phone?
Yes.
And did someone in your family help provide that cell phone to her?
Yes.
And who was that?
I think the cell phone that she had, it was her cell phone services through her grandparents,
Okay, that's just all I'm asking right now. And would that be on your side, ma'am, or her father's side?
her father's side.
And are their names Nancy and Clifford Ware?
Yes, it is.
Now, ma'am, I'm going to draw your attention right now to the early part of December of 2018. Did you find something out pretty shocking about your daughter, IS?
Yes.
What did you find out? And again, try not to go into
Pat says the parents didn't take charge of the situation. Darn. And Nikki says the first rule is not to have a man around your young girls. Bingo. Let my minor daughter have some overt sexualized language in any text, even from a peer. I promise there will be problems. Exactly. Let's get back to it.
statements, just what you learned.
That she was with child,
How did you feel after hearing this? Because how old was your daughter at the time?
16.
Okay.
I was a little upset at first because I didn't want her to get in the way of college, her dreams got her. She was in between, like she was in to be a lawyer or a doctor. So I was upset at first, but when I came home from work and first time I felt baby kick, it was out the window. I just wanted to be supportive and be there for her
Did your focus shift at that point?
immediately.
Did you set up a OBGYN appointment for her?
Yes.
And specifically, do you remember what date you learned that your daughter IS was pregnant?
December 3rd,
And was the appointment you set up on December the 13th, 2018?
13th, yes.
And did you go with IS to that appointment?
Yes, I did.
And was the pregnancy confirmed when you were at that appointment?
Yes.
Did you also learn how far along IS was?
Yes.
How far along?
She was about 5 months, 22 weeks.
Now, how did you not know that your daughter was pregnant since she was already 5 months along?
Iyana,
Physical standpoint, I apologize for interrupting.
Iyana, she's tall, she's slim, and then also she wore a lot of hoodies over her.
In fact, was she about 5'8",
Yes.
but quite thin?
Yes, she's thin.
Was abortion ever an option?
An option?
Abortion.
No, not for me. I didn't. No.
Okay. Was the plan for IS to have the baby?
Yes, she wanted to.
Did you find out the gender of IS's child?
Yes.
And what was it?
Gender was a girl.
And had she been named?
Yes.
And what was that name?
Hazel Michelle Mobley.
And again, not going into many details of statements, did you ask your daughter who was the father of her child?
Yes.
Did you ever learn who was the father of your child from IS?
No, she gave me a name.
Was that name Jose?
Yes.
Now, did you do some math regarding that approximate 5 months time frame that your daughter was at?
Yes.
And if you're subtracting that 22 and a half, 5 months, what date did you get to?
July.
Now, in July of 2018, how old would have been IS?
15.
And shortly before that July 2018 timeframe, did IS and SS go somewhere that summer?
Yes.
Where did they go?
To the grandparents' house.
Would that be Mr. and Mrs. Ware?
Yes.
And do they live out of state?
Yes, they do.
In fact, do they live in Columbus, Georgia?
Yes.
Do you know when SS and IS came back from Georgia?
Yes,
How do you know that?
because it was my mom's birthday,
And what day is your mom's birthday?
July 7th.
Did you and your family have a birthday party for your mother?
Yes,
And was it actually on her birthday?
yes, it was.
Was it a weekend
Yes,
that year? Now, did SS come home with you after the party?
after the party,
I'm talking about SS.
Exactly, Denise. I agree with you. There was no way. Ain't no man supposed to be in my room when you're a little girl. No, that's a no-no. Everybody sits in the living room where it's open and the parents can come through anytime they want. Never heard of such a thing. The same thing, like when we did the Ham Hock trial. Why was Ham Hock in the room with her by herself? And that's not even his child. You probably here with your son. See what I'm saying? Red flags. And nobody's noticing this? There's nobody picking up? No little gut feeling telling you something just doesn't make sense? We all sharing our thoughts and opinions, right, ladies and gentlemen? We just sharing our thoughts and opinions. Great one, Denise. Facts. Resume.
like to grab clothes from the house.
I'm just asking that, well, let me rephrase my question. Maybe this will be a little bit easier. First, about SS. Did SS come back to your home and stay at your home?
Oh, no,
What about IS?
no.
And where did IS and SS, if they even stay at the same place, go to?
Okay. Hope I can help you out, Nikki. So who is saying they had a baby? Okay, this is the mother on the stand. And this is the mother of the little girl that got murdered by this monster. And she had 2 daughters. But she's saying IS, that's the one who's deceased, and SS is the other daughter, which she was on the stand. But it was very graphic, so I'm not going to put that up here, but she was on the stand talking about what this monster did to her too. And the man that you saw before was their father. He's the father of the 2 girls. So them 2 have 2 girls together. And that monster was messing with both daughters. Hopefully I gave you clarity right there. All right, let's get back to it.
Their aunt house, Naomi.
And did they stay the night over there?
Yes, they did.
And just to be clear, that's also where the defendant was living.
Yes,
Now, prior to, and we'll get to, again, why we're ultimately here on the 12/19 date, but prior to that date, ma'am, did you accuse someone of being the father of IS's baby prior to her disappearing from Terry Parker High School?
prior to it, there were some accusations, yes,
Did you make an accusation?
yes,
And who was that against?
Jonathan,
And is that because of the math time frame that you calculated?
yes,
At that time frame, I'm just talking about from the July time frame to the December time frame of 2018. I'm talking about personal knowledge, okay, ma'am? Not what you've heard, but just personal knowledge. Were you aware of any boyfriend-girlfriend relationship that IS was in?
no,
Now, kind of going back, thinking about potential boyfriend-girlfriend situations for IS. Going back earlier in 2018, did you also learn something involving your daughter and a neighbor?
yes,
And was that person Kamar Humphrey?
yes, it was.
And back in March of 2018, how old was your daughter?
15,
And was the neighbor 20 years old?
yes,
Did you report that to the police?
I did.
And the next day, did you accompany your daughter to have a sexual assault examination?
I did.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit better picture here. So Kamar Humphrey, that was a neighbor across the street. He was 20, and I guess she was 15, she just said? All right, that was the guy showed on the stand. What was it, Thursday? Because he was on the stand the day he got convicted. He was found guilty. Oh, so she took him there to, oh, okay. I'm still trying to get stuff together, ladies and gentlemen, here. If everybody can, fill in the blanks, help me out, help me out. People watch a replay, help me out. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it.
Now, after you, again, personal knowledge, after you reported the incident involving your daughter and the neighbor, Kamar Humphrey, did you ever see Kamar Humphrey again?
No, maybe like once. I think he ended up moving.
Did you ever see him talking with your daughter?
No.
And did you ultimately press charges against Kamar Humphrey on behalf of your daughter, IS?
Yes, I started the process.
Okay. Now, did your daughter like a particular brand?
Yes.
What brand was that?
It's the Victoria's Secret pink clothing line.
And did she like all the aspects of that brand?
Yes.
And when I say all aspects, I'm just meaning from like the beauty fragrance all the way through undergarments.
Yes.
Okay. And did she have a lot of those items
Yes, she did.
associated with that brand?
Yes.
Now, ma'am, I'm going to draw your attention now to December 19th, 2018. Did that start off as a normal day?
Yes.
Did you go to work?
Yes, I did.
Did your children go to school?
Yes.
And did your children ride the bus?
Yes.
However, did that day end normally?
No.
At some point, did you learn that your daughter, IS, did not ride the bus home?
I did.
Since you were at work, did you call on other family members to assist?
I did.
And were they Margie Mobley and Jametta Mobley?
Yes.
Who, and again, not going into statements, but who told you that IS had not come home on the bus?
SS.
Was that abnormal?
Yes, it was abnormal.
Did you normally have frequent contact with IS?
Yes,
Now, after hearing this, did you try to call her?
I did.
Were you able to reach her?
I was not.
Were you able to leave work?
I did leave work.
Did you go to Terry Parker High School?
Yes, I did.
Did you reach out to friends?
Yes.
Did you contact police?
My sister started it off. She called the cops for me.
Did you speak with the police later on?
Yes.
Did you create flyers?
Yes.
However, did you ever hear from IS?
No.
Where did IS work back in 2018?
At Chick-fil-A.
And did you ultimately obtain her paychecks that she never picked up?
Yes.
Now, did you go through IS's room?
Yes.
Were you trying to find anything and everything to find out why your daughter was not home?
Yes.
Did IS and SS share a bedroom?
They did.
What did you notice was missing from IS's portion of the bedroom?
Some of her underwear, bras, her clothing.
That was from that Victoria's Secret pink brand?
Yes.
Did you let police know?
Yes.
Now, we've been talking a lot about IS. So I'm gonna approach, just give me one moment. Ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked as stipulation states evidence 22. Do you recognize this person?
Yes.
Who is it?
My daughter.
Is this IS?
Yes, it is.
And is this what IS looked like when she never came back in December of 2018?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you states evidence 23. Do you recognize it?
I do.
And can you tell us what is states evidence 23?
It's IS.
And what is it showing about IS?
Her pregnancy, her stomach.
Can we see that she is pregnant in states evidence 23?
Yes.
And is she also wearing her favorite brand?
Yes.
Okay, Paul, let me read this one. I was groomed as a child. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for sharing. I'm sorry to hear that. I was also groomed as a child, and the Victoria's Secret was probably fed to her by Sleazeball. Like he's been saying, she looks like a Victoria's Secret model. Just a guess. I was wondering too, what is going on with this Victoria's Secret? And he probably was doing that as a form of grooming. That's the first thing I was thinking about too. This piece of crap. Are you kidding me? All right, what Pat has to say here. Let me read this one. It's unfortunate that her life added IS was having sex since she was 14 with the neighbor across the street who was 20 at the time. Wow. All right, let me hear what Brenda has to say. God knows I wouldn't know how would I react in a courtroom after losing my child. All right, let's get back to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the mother on this stand. We already did the father, this is the mother, and after the mother, we're going to get into the grandmas on mommy's side and daddy's side. Resume.
Okay. And in State's Evidence 23, was this photograph taken near the time frame before December 19, 2018?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you State's Evidence 24. Do you recognize it?
I do.
And what are we looking at in State's Evidence 24?
My granddaughter, Hazel.
And is this a sonogram picture?
Yes, it is.
And was this taken on December 13th, 2018,
Yes, it was.
when you were present and the pregnancy was confirmed?
Yes.
Welcome, Jones, to the channel. Glad to have you. Welcome aboard.
Now, ma'am, at some point, did you get contacted by homicide detective Billy Abbott?
Yes.
And is that when you learned that the investigation of your daughter had turned into a homicide investigation?
Yes.
And based upon your knowledge, had anyone seen her since December 19, 2018?
No.
Now, ma'am, I'm going to show you, which marked as State's Evidence 25, that's been stipulated into evidence. Ma'am, is your screen up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I know we got a big screen, but you got a screen right beside you.
Members of the jury, are your TV monitors working? Okay. If at any point they're not working and you think they should be based off what your testimony is, just raise your hand and let me know so I don't have to keep asking you this.
Now, ma'am, in State's Evidence 25, are we looking at Terry Parker High School?
Yes, we are.
Now, ma'am, we just saw an individual in State's Evidence 25. Who was that person?
Yes.
And is that from the last day that she was at school?
Yes, it is.
Now, ma'am, did you ever, or was IS's cell phone ever recovered?
No.
After speaking with Detective Abbott, were you informed that they were going to search the landfill?
Yes.
And were you asked to look at some of the items from the landfill?
So
Some of the items that were found from the landfill later on?
later on.
However, while JSO was at the landfill, were you asked if you could describe any of the Victoria's Secret undergarments?
Yes.
Was there a time frame that you and your sister and yourself, and you can clarify which, I believe it was Jametta, or is it Paula?
Paula.
Thank you, I appreciate that. That you, Paula Mobley, and then your daughter IS, did the three of you get matching undergarments from Victoria's Secret?
Yes,
And did you describe those undergarments to police?
I did.
And were they for a specific seasonal time frame at Victoria's Secret?
It was.
And was that for Valentine's Day?
Yes, it was.
And have you ultimately had a chance to look at that undergarment that was found from the landfill? The actual item?
Yes.
And because of that item, did you then provide some items to JSO?
Yes.
So, ma'am, I'm showing you State's Evidence 45 and 46. Do you recognize them?
I do.
And how do you recognize State's Evidence 45 and 46?
Because
Can you I'll stay up to make sure the microphone.
they were a gift from my sister.
And can you tell us what they are?
They're Victoria's Secret Valentine's Day underwear.
And are these the two items that you provided to JSO?
I did.
Now, were you shown the item, like we talked about, in State's Evidence 42?
Yes.
And did you recognize State's Evidence 42?
Yes.
What did you recognize State's Evidence 42 to be?
Iyana's underwear.
And that was, again, the matching pair to what you and your sister had.
It is.
Now, Ms. Mobley, just to be clear, these items, 45 and 46, were in your possession, correct?
Yes.
However, State's Evidence 42 was from the landfill.
Yes.
I love her purple heels. Ooh, those are beautiful.
I'm showing you now what's been marked and stipulated as State's Evidence 43A. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
Now, is it a bra?
Yes, it is.
Is it from Victoria's Secret?
Yes, it is.
And did State's Evidence 43 from the landfill look similar to a bra that IS had?
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing too. Not mine. No. I was thinking the same too. Why are a 15-year-old having Victoria's Secret? We just curious. All right, Brenda says, why are they wearing Victoria's Secrets at this age? Just please help me understand that. Oh, they go my co-host, the real Jack Newtown. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand too. I was thinking the same thing. Not just me. All right, let's get back to it. What did you say? Victoria's Secrets at 1560. Is this a new thing? Is this a new normal? No, it's not. I don't get this. No. I wasn't allowed to wear red nail polish, red lipstick. No, it was only pink nail polish until I got older. I don't get it. All right, let's get back to it.
Now, State's 43 is composite, where there's actually 3 bras. However, the only one that you recognize is the first one. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And again, I'll show you just to make sure. But the one that you feel more confident about is 43A?
Yes.
Next, Ms. Mobley, I'm showing you what's been marked and stipulated to as State's Evidence 44. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
Are we looking at another bra?
Yes.
And is it a bra from Victoria's Secret?
Yes.
Who do you recognize State's Evidence 44 to be?
Yes.
And do you feel confident about State's Evidence 43?
I do.
I'm sorry, these young girls should not be wearing this kind of stuff. No, that's too much. That's enticing. No, you just basically tell them to start having sex. No, just saying. These are all our thoughts and opinions. But I have to say, her mother is very beautiful, and that sleazeball ex-wife, very pretty, beautiful women. Oh well, let's get back. Let me read this one here. I know when I seen the testimony of the mother yesterday, she did form tears. My thing, why would you buy your daughter Victoria's Secret undies? Don't make sense. Red flag. Why would a teenager need Victoria's Secret? Without, I go to Victoria's. Not about me. It's about enticing a man. Why would little girls be having that? Just saying. All right. And back to it.
Now, ma'am, drawing your attention back to your residence, did you find something of interest in IS and SS bedroom,
I did.
and specifically in the closet area?
Yes.
And what were those items?
Pills.
And did you call police?
I did.
Did you have police come out?
Yes.
And did they take photographs?
They did.
And did they collect those items?
They did.
So next I'm going to show you what's been marked in as composite states 18. Now, at the time, were you living at 7834 India Avenue?
Yes.
And that's where IS was living as well?
Yes.
So I'm showing you states 18A. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
My house.
Now, in states 18B, can you tell me what we're looking at?
Yes. IS room.
Now, looks pretty messy. Tell us about that.
That was my doing. I was going through everything. I did let them know, the police officers, that I was going through everything, so it may be a little messy, but they told me to leave everything alone. But I went through books, shoes, blankets, closets, trying to find anything that could help locate her.
Now, what side of the room would be associated with IS?
D left.
And if you actually just take your finger, you can draw. Do you mind just circling? Yeah, take your finger. You can actually touch the screen. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
And so just to be clear, for record purposes, is it fair to say, Ms. Mobley, that you have circled the bed that has hot pink and black bedding?
Yes.
Next in states 18C, is this just another view with some items picked up off the ground?
Yes.
Okay. Now in states evidence 18D, what can we see that she again, her favorite brand?
Pink, Victoria's Secret.
Now in states evidence 18E, can you describe what we're looking at?
Their closet.
When you say the closet, we're still in the bedroom of your daughters?
Yes.
Now, is there a certain item in the closet that caught your attention?
Yes.
Can you please circle that for us?
Well, it's a shoebox.
Here, I'll let you start over, no worries. There you go. You said a shoebox.
Yes.
Is that an Adidas shoebox?
I don't recall the exact shoebox.
That's okay, no worries. What color is the shoebox?
I don't recall the exact shoebox.
That's okay, all right, let's keep looking here. States 18F, is that a closer view of shoebox?
Yes,
All right. Now I'm showing you states 18G. Do you recognize it?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
Because those are the items I called about.
So is that the shoebox that we're talking
Yes.
about? Does that help refresh your recollection? Now, are these the items that you found within that shoebox?
Yes, I did.
And what were those items?
Parsley and Don Quay.
And was there some tissue paper, an old Foot Locker receipt, and then a shoe tag? Is that fair to say, ma'am?
Yes.
Was there anything else that was in that shoebox that's not depicted in states 18I?
No.
And did law enforcement come and take those items?
Yes, they did.
Now, again, I'm just asking you a very general question. Did you learn that those pills could be connected to the defendant and your daughter IS?
Yes.
Okay. Is that why you wanted law enforcement to have it?
Yes.
Now, did you physically touch those items?
I did.
And based upon that, were you asked to provide your DNA?
Yes.
And did you willingly provide your DNA?
I did.
You ready to have one moment? Ms. Mobley, as we sit here today, September the 14th, 2023, have you had contact with your daughter, IS, in any format
No, I haven't.
since December 19th, 2018?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense.
Good morning. Let's start, if we can, with the day that IS went missing. The day that she went missing, you said and you testified that your daughter informed you, SS, that IS did not get on the bus. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you question SS about where IS might be?
Yes.
You did not receive any information as to what her whereabouts were outside of the fact that she did not get on the bus, correct?
Correct.
In fact, that continued, that there was no knowledge of where she might be, what could have happened, or anything outside of, she just didn't get on the bus. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that went on for days and weeks, in fact.
Yes.
After IS went missing, you started searching, correct?
Yes.
You were doing whatever you could to try and locate her and find out where she might be, correct? Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Thank you so much. When you were searching, at some point, did you come across, or did you try to search for her debit card usage?
Yes.
Okay. And did you in fact find that she had used her debit card the day she went missing?
We wasn't sure. It looked like there could have been a transaction, but I don't have direct access to her bank account. We wasn't sure.
Okay. And that bank account, was that one that I believe you testified to that was set up by her grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. And is that Miss Nancy Ware?
Yes, it is.
So she might have a little bit more information as to that credit card usage.
Yes.
As best as you can recall, though, do you recall that credit card potentially being used at a Wendy's?
Yes.
Okay. Did you follow up on that usage at the Wendy's? Did you go to that Wendy's?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember if you gave that information to police and asked them to follow up with that potential lead?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know if they actually did in fact follow up with that to see if she had been to that Wendy's the day she went missing?
I want to say they looked into it.
Do you know what side of town that Wendy's was on?
I think the south side.
South side? East South side?
I think, yes.
Okay. Outside of that particular lead that you discovered in looking at her debit card usage, did you search other locations of where she might have gone and where she might have been?
Yes.
Okay. You were kind of doing that on your own, correct? It was just you and your family trying to find her.
Yes.
At that point in time, police weren't really doing the things that you all were doing. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And after she went missing, the police actually listed her as a runaway at that point, according to you.
Yes, I want to say.
Okay. And you're pretty upset with police. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, I was a little upset because I didn't believe that she was a runaway.
Understood. And more specifically, were you upset because they weren't publicizing her being missing in the news and media?
I was upset because my daughter, she's pregnant, she's missing, and I didn't get a ton of updates immediately.
Okay. And do you recall actually calling to police and demanding that they do so, that they put her on the news and that they start to publicize
I
that?
called the sheriff office and asked them about it.
Okay. And I mean, fair to say you were trying to do anything you could to get them to publicize her being missing. Is that fair to say?
Publicized, yes. I was trying to get updates.
And you had made flyers, you had posted it on social media, you were doing whatever you possibly could to get the fact out that she was missing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the background that you gave as far as where IS would stay. You stated that she was at your house, obviously she lived with you.
Yes.
She stayed with her Aunt Naomi and her Uncle Jonathan.
Yes.
But she also stayed at her grandparents' house in Georgia, correct?
Yes.
And she spent that whole summer before she went missing in Georgia with them.
Yes, she did.
And the date that you recall her coming back was July 7th of 2018, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and was that all four of your kids or was that just IS and SS?
IS and SS, who was out of town.
Okay, so when they came back, you said they came back for your mother's birthday party.
Yes.
And you remember that distinctly and confidently, that's the date.
Yes.
All right, and that to you, is that the reason why, as you said, that you believe that that's the time period that she conceived the child that she was pregnant with when she went missing?
Yes, you said is that the reason?
Why you
Repeat it?
believe that's the time period that she conceived the child that she was pregnant with when she went missing?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also believe that she spent a lot of time at her Aunt Naomi's house and her Uncle Jonathan's house, and so that's part of the reason as well?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about Jose. You stated that the person that she told you the father was Jose. Is that correct?
Yes, that was the name she gave me.
But she also gave you several other names.
It was another one that she did.
There were more than two names. Is that fair to say that she provided you with?
I don't recall. I think I know at least two.
Okay, maybe more.
I don't recall.
When you, at some point, I know you were trying to figure out who these people who she named as the father were. You were actually doing investigation trying to figure out who that might be, correct?
Correct?
Okay, so you were calling people, talking to friends of friends to figure out who it could be.
Yes.
Okay. At some point, did you find and give information to police that you believe that IS and Jose were together in Azalea Ridge Apartments where Willie Sawyer, her father, was living at the time?
I don't recall.
You don't remember giving that information to police?
If I did, anything that I heard or seen, anything that I heard, I gave to the police. It was a lot of things. Like, if I hear this, see this, if I see somebody on Facebook or social media making comments, I gave it all to the police. I don't remember every single thing, but I did turn it over to police, anything I thought that may be useful.
Understood. As far as Jose, did you also at that time believe him to be, and I'm quoting, a Hispanic and black male?
Hispanic?
Okay, the black male portion, you don't recall that?
I don't recall.
Okay, you don't recall him being described as being mixed in any way?
I just know she said Puerto Rican.
Okay. And you don't specifically remember anything as it relates to Jose residing in the Azalea Ridge Apartments?
Not that I can recall of.
All right. You talked about your feelings about finding out that IS was pregnant. You said you were upset at first, but you decided to be supportive of her.
Yes.
When you were upset, I imagine that you were pretty irate. to find out that your 15, 16-year-old daughter was pregnant?
I was shocked.
Did you yell at IS about that?
I did not yell at her.
Did you call her any derogatory names?
Not directly, no. If I vented a little bit, it'd probably been my sister, but to be honest, I thought it was a prank.
You talked about finding out that she was pregnant. You believe it was in December.
Yes,
December 3rd specifically, maybe even. Do you recall that as the date?
December 3rd.
And then 10 days later, you set the appointment, and that's when you all confirmed that she was in fact pregnant and 5 months pregnant.
Yes,
Okay. Prior to, well, you mentioned during your direct examination that accusations had been made about who the father was and that you made the accusation. It came from you that it was Johnathan Quiles who was the father.
yes, I was one. Yes,
I'm sorry, repeat yourself?
yes, I did.
Okay. And that accusation, you said you made that after you find out that she was pregnant.
Yes,
Okay. Had there ever been any accusations prior to that of Johnathan Quiles having any sort of sexual relationship with IS?
you said prior to it?
Prior to IS getting pregnant?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Let's talk about Kamar Humphrey. Do you recall when Kamar Humphrey, how you found out that Kamar Humphrey had sexually battered IS?
Better.
That he sexually assaulted IS?
That's it, yes.
How did you find that out?
I found out through my son.
At that point, you did in fact report that to police,
I did.
and you asked police to investigate that.
I did.
You provided them all the information that you could as far as what you knew about that situation.
Yes.
You mentioned, when you were asked actually, whether you had seen him any after that. And you stated that you don't think you did, you think he moved away.
Yes.
Do you remember when he moved away?
No, I think it was like very shortly after like the situation where I called the cops on him.
So according to you, Kamar Humphrey was not living as your next door neighbor across the street at the time that IS went missing.
I said, no, at the time she went missing, I don't think he was.
Okay. And did you know him? Did you know him well?
No.
Okay. Had you seen or talked to him before?
You know, he used to play basketball outside sometimes with my kids.
Okay. So outside of seeing him playing basketball with your kids outside, you didn't know anything else about him. Had you ever had any personal conversations with him?
No. Not like, no, just like when, at the time I called the cops, but outside of that, no.
So you actually confronted him about that situation when you called the cops?
Yes, I asked him about it.
Okay. And after that situation with Mr. Humphrey, isn't it true that accusations that there was a sexual relationship between Johnathan Quiles and IS come out at that time?
After Humphrey,
Yes, around that time period.
I don't recall.
Following that time period and going throughout that entire year, you stated that your kids would continue to spend time at their Aunt Naomi and Uncle Jonathan's house, correct?
Yes.
Let me pause. Denise says, I think those girls didn't become active until Mr. Creepy came around. I have to ask, do anyone remember in the conversation he had with his brother that he told his brother he doesn't know him anymore? I didn't catch that part with the brother. But I agree with you there. I think he was looking at these girls. Well, she said she known them for 10 years at that time. So the girls had to be, what, 5 or 6 or something like that? And he was grooming them. I think that, yeah, he was the first. You sick, nasty man. Oh, I'm so glad they got him and he's locked up. Because he wasn't going to stop. This was too much of him. This is too much. But I didn't catch that last part he said. I have to ask anyone, remember in the conversation he had with the brother that he told his brother he doesn't know him anymore. Oh, I think I kind of know what you're talking about, Denise. I think I might be wrong. Not too sure. All right, let's get back to it. And is everybody's hitting the like? How come only got 29 likes and 91 people in here? Come on. People in the bushes. Even if you don't want to chat, you just want to listen, I understand. Hit the like, and share me out on your social media too if you can. All right, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the mother on the stand, and when we're done with mama, we're going to get into the grandmas. All right, let's resume.
As far as Kamar's relationship with IS, outside of that one incident that you found out about and reported to police, were you aware of their relationship and maintaining like a continuous relationship between them?
No.
And you don't actually know when or if there was any sort of relationship that happened or occurred after that?
Not to my knowledge, it wasn't.
right, I want to talk to you about the items of evidence that you were shown. The first was the underwear, the Valentine's Day underwear as you described them, correct?
Yes.
All right, that and the bras, those bras that you identified or believe belong to IS, you cannot, as you sit here today, say for certain that those items belong to IS.
They look like the items that she have.
Exactly, thank you. They look like items that you knew to have in her, she had in her possession, but as far as knowing that those are hers.
Ooh, hold a second, Jones. You saying in that recording, see, I was at work and I couldn't really hear it, and it was so muffled. I wanted to, upload it here with us, but it's so hard to hear. But okay, so you're saying we're talking about the wire because they put a wire on some, inmates, whatever, to record what he had to say. That's what we're talking about. All right, he told us the set up prisoners that he was IS first, and we was just saying that. Took these girls' virginity too. Watched them since they was 5, 6 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to do better as parents. You have to watch who your kids is around. I don't trust nobody, not even the pastor. Everybody. Anybody's a possibility. That is crazy. So it is. He said... Oh, he's going to hell in a handbasket. Yes, he is. All right, let's get back to it. Brenda, you remember that too? I missed that. I missed it. Chris said he is more than level 3 sex offender. Mm-hmm. Yep, he's a devil. The devil's son. Satan Jr. Facts. Wow. I had missed that part. All right, let's get back to it.
You cannot say that.
Well, the underwear, I could definitely say that they look exactly like the ones that she had.
Okay, and that's fine. You can definitely say it looks like the ones she
Yes.
has. Okay. As far as the size, do you know what size those underwear were? The ones that are in evidence right there.
I don't know what size they are.
If I told you they were a large, is that IS's size?
Iyana picked up a little bit of weight with her pregnancy. She did sometimes. That's not her regular size is large, but if she really wants something like boy shorts or even regular clothes, she will upsize. She didn't care.
All right. When you said she was quite thin, so what would her normal size be?
I don't recall. I have to go back and look at my planner.
You don't know if your child was a small, medium?
It was either, I'm not sure, maybe a medium. I'm not sure.
When those underwear were purchased with you, I believe your sister, you said it was a gift, and for IS, was that when she was pregnant or was that prior to when she was pregnant that you guys obtained those underwear?
Before she was pregnant.
Okay, would that have been, you said Valentine's Day, would that have been February around Valentine's Day? So that was well before she got pregnant.
Yes.
Okay, so when you say she picked up a little weight, you're talking about during pregnancy, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so at that time, she would have been maybe a medium according to you.
She could have been.
Okay. So if those underwear are large that you identified, that would not be her size, correct?
I wouldn't say that because look, she do wear large underwear, boy shorts, and like I said earlier, she do tend to wear larger clothing. She takes my clothing.
All right, let's talk about a couple other things. As far as, well, let me ask you another follow-up question. I apologize. Let me back up just a little bit. You set the appointment to confirm IS's pregnancy, correct?
Yes.
And when you went there, you actually asked them to do a panorama, which would confirm the sex of the baby.
I actually I got a referral to have it done.
Okay. And so the doctor did send that referral out for you all. And that's how you were able to confirm that it was a girl or a boy.
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys do any blood work or anything like that? Or was there anything that you requested specifically to find out who the father may be?
No, we just took her to find out what the sex of the baby was.
Okay. There's nothing else. There's no DNA or anything like that to confirm who it is. So as you sit here today, you do not know who the father of IS's unborn child was.
Can you rephrase?
I'll repeat it. You want me to rephrase or
Yes.
repeat what I said? Okay, let me try again.
Sure.
Okay. You don't have any DNA nor anything else to confirm who the father of IS's unborn child is, correct?
I don't personally have DNA, no.
Did you know IS to be in any other relationships? I mean, like boyfriend-girlfriend type of relationships during that time period?
No.
And was that something that she would have confided in you about? Is that the type of conversations you all would have?
We had all type of conversations, but I wasn't aware of any boyfriend.
Fair to say that might be something she wouldn't share with you. If it's not, you can say she would share with me. That's fine if that's how you feel.
I think to a certain extent she may.
All right, I want to talk about the last thing you identified. You said that you had been searching IS and SS's room for any evidence of where she might be, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall finding items? I know you said there were several places that you tried to look and you can't recall all of them. Do you recall specifically locating some address that you believed IS could possibly be at? Do you remember this?
Yes,
Okay. Did you follow up on that yourself?
I did.
Okay. Did that lead to anything as far as there may be someone that she was with at that time?
No,
Okay. As far as you know, that address that you listed and that you found it did belong to a person, correct?
a lady.
Okay. It was a lady and she had children, correct?
Yes.
And those children there, they denied having anything to do with IS's disappearance.
Correct.
Did you provide that information to police?
Yes.
Did they follow up on that?
I don't know.
To your knowledge, no, or you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. And the other thing that you talked about finding in the very end there was that shoebox. That shoebox, we saw pictures of it, was in the top right-hand corner of the closet that IS and SS shared, correct?
Yes.
And that box had been there since IS had gone missing. Is that fair to say?
I don't know. I was just going through the room. I'm assuming yes.
Okay. It didn't look disturbed in the picture, so I'm asking, did you move that there? Did you put it there? Or was that somehow you found it?
Oh, it was there. I went through the shoebox.
Okay, that's what I was asking. So
Yes, sorry.
where is pictured it, or where you see it in the photo is where you found it?
Yes.
And obviously you've taken it down and looked in it.
Yes.
But then you returned it back to the spot before police arrived and looked through it. Is that correct?
I don't recall.
You can't recall if you put it back there or not?
I'm not 100% sure. I just remember taking out the box. I pretty much staring at the room, looking through everything. I just know Then you asked, where did I get the items from? I'm not 100% sure. I don't recall.
Fair enough, and that's okay. As far as the pills that were found inside that box, your DNA is on those pills.
Yes.
No one else's DNA is on those pill bottles, as far as you know.
Oh.
You said no? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
I know mine's probably on it because I touched it.
Okay. But as far as anyone else's DNA, you're not aware of anybody else's DNA being on those pill bottles.
I don't recall.
And that was found several months even after IS went missing. Is that fair to say?
I don't recall how long ago it was, like prior, after she went missing.
Okay. Was it quite some time after she went missing, or was it immediately after she went missing?
It wasn't immediately like the next week or so. I don't remember.
Okay. You can't remember if it was weeks or if it had been a couple months or anything like that.
I don't remember.
And I'm assuming you did report it to police, so the day that you reported it to police would be the day that you found it.
Yes.
Okay. So if law enforcement told us that it was months later, that would probably be the most accurate, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And those pill bottles, had you ever seen them before?
No.
And I assume you asked your other daughter, SS, since it's in her closet, about that.
Yes.
And about their room, they both had beds in that room. I know we couldn't see two beds, but there are two beds in that bedroom photograph that we saw, correct?
Yes.
And I know you circled the one side that was IS's. The side that you can't really see, that's where SS was sleeping.
Yes.
That closet, however, that we saw, that's a shared closet that both of them used.
Yes.
Okay. And so you don't know for certain whether or not those pill bottles belong to SS, if she put them there, or if IS had put them there?
I don't recall when I asked them.
And you said that I know it was a little messy, and you had gone through a lot of stuff. At some point, police told you, don't do anything else, don't touch anything else, leave it as it is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you after that touch anything else in that area?
After they told me not to?
Correct.
No.
Okay, you didn't disturb anything further.
No, I left out the room.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. Just one other follow-up question. In your search and in trying to figure out where IS might have been, do you recall there being a plane ticket found at some point?
I remember something about one, but I don't remember detail. I just remember something about it. I don't know details or anything.
Okay, that sounds familiar to you, though, that there was
I
a
think
plane
I
ticket.
heard one time.
Sorry, I didn't finish the question, so let me just.
Denise says, do anyone remember when the cousin took the stand and Creepy sat straight up and stopped pretending writing? His eyes was on her deep. You know what I did notice, Denise? When SS was on the stand, I never showed that on here, the SS. When she was on the stand talking about what he did to her, I noticed he was paying a lot of attention, like he was getting turned on by hearing her on the stand talking about it. I noticed that. Yep, I truly noticed that. He was very attentive, listening to everything she said. You piece of crap. Resume.
Just finish it. You do recall hearing something about a plane ticket being found in relation to IS going missing?
I heard something in regards to the plane ticket, but I don't remember.
You don't remember the details
Yes.
of like where it was?
I'm going back and forth trying to read the comments and everything too. Let's go back. Brenda, help me. Oh my gosh, he was giving him pills. Yeah, help me with these pills. So he was giving him drugs too? Is this what he talking about with the pills? He grooming them, sexing them, and drugging them too? Is this what we heading to? Please, help me here. Y'all know. Put in the comments here, or people's watching the replay. Oh my gosh, monster. Back to it.
Exact dates, those
I
are
do not recall.
understood. Would that have been information that you provided to law enforcement?
I don't recall.
I don't have anything further, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Mobley, did you ever receive any information that your daughter took a plane flight?
I don't recall.
Were you going to do a DNA test of the baby after it was born?
It would have been more so like Iyana's IS decision.
Did you want to learn who the father was?
Yes.
Because your daughter was underage.
Yes.
So was that something to be addressed once the baby was born?
Yes.
During the time frame of between March 2018 and December 2018, did you have any after reporting Kamar Humphrey to the police, did you have any problems with Kamar Humphrey?
Yes, before.
Just from the situation that you called the police on?
Yeah, it was just a little tension between the households.
Did you, though, have any issues with Kamar Humphrey after reporting him to the police?
No.
And the accusation against the defendant being the father of IS's baby was prior to December 19, 2018.
Can you repeat that?
No problem. Did you accuse the defendant of fathering your daughter's child prior to IS leaving Terry Parker on that December 19th date?
Yes, it was, yes.
Prior to December 19, 2018, had your daughter ever went anywhere without your knowledge?
No.
Had she ever gone away for the night without your knowledge?
No.
Was this completely out of normal?
Completely, yes.
No further questions.
Okay, that's the end of the mother. We're gonna get into the grandmas, okay? All right, let me see what Miss RV says. Brenda, he was trying to make her lose the baby with the Amazon. Oh, that's what the pills. Oh, okay, so he was trying to. Okay, we putting the pieces together. Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. I thought it was drugging too, but he was trying to get rid of the. Well, it's still drugging. It's all wrong. Whatever. He wasn't dragging them. I think he wasn't, like I said, drugging them. I think that he was supposed to be birth control, but she wasn't taking them. Oh, this man had a plan. So he was just, whoo, I'm getting more of the chills on this the more I'm hearing. Okay, shaking my head. Okay. And Purple, and welcome, Purple. Welcome. Glad to have you. All right, what else we have here? Denise said the pills is a date rape drug. Oh, pill where you're under in control, but he could have told them both it's either so that they won't hurt or get pregnant. Yes, they were using things. Yes, they use things like this. Oh gosh, this is giving me more of the chills. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy the music while you wait. While I set up the other one, I sure they had grandma set up, but I didn't. So enjoy the music while we get into the grandmas. Oh, it's going to be a few seconds before I pull up, because I have to find the grandmas. Won't take too long, but a few seconds. Just enjoy the music. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I finally found the grandma. All right. Now, this first grandmother that we're getting ready to watch, let me turn down this music, you can hear me clearly. Okay. Now, the first grandmother we get ready to watch here, this is the grandma on the mother side. See the mother on the top right? The bottom is grandma. So we're going to get into her. Then we're going to get into the father's mother. Yeah. I hope I just said it right. This is grandma on the mother's side. Okay, let's hear what she has to say on the stand. And then we're going to get into the other grandma. Let's get it.
To your right, just watch your step as you come forward. You need a glass of water or something.
Let me repeat. The speed is on 1.5. Everything's on 1.5 today. So if it's too fast for you, hit the settings and you can adjust it to whatever speed is comfortable for you. Okay, but when you do recaps over here for trials, I do them on faster speed, because if not, we will be here all day. Let's get it.
Let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate you.
Thank you.
And you can adjust the microphone as you scoot in to let your voice project. If there is an objection made during your testimony, just let me rule on the objection before you answer the question, okay?
Yes.
That said, state your main quite ready.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. May it please the court. Ma'am, good afternoon. Will you state your name?
My name's Winella Maxine Haynes.
Yes, ma'am. Will you spell your first name, please?
Winella.
Right. And do you live here in Jacksonville?
I do.
How long have you lived in Jacksonville?
About 40-something years. It's been a while.
Yes, ma'am. And who is your husband?
Michael Haynes.
Can you say that one more time?
Michael Haynes.
Thank you. Can you direct your attention, ma'am, to the year of 2018? Were you still here living in Jacksonville at that time?
Yes.
All right. Who is IS, Iyana Sawyer, to you?
My granddaughter,
And who is her mother?
Kimberly Mobley.
And is that your daughter?
My daughter.
Yes, ma'am. Can you give the jury an idea of how many children you have
5.
and how many grandchildren you have?
About 22. I mean, it's quite a
Ma'am.
few.
Now, from your daughter, Kim, you have another granddaughter, Samaya, SS.
Yes.
Ma'am, was there a time period where one of your daughters, Naomi, was married?
Yes.
All right. And who was she married to?
Johnathan Quiles.
All right. And how long would you have known Mr. Quiles from that time period till now?
With Naomi, about 5 years, but about 7 years in total.
Okay. Can you identify Mr. Quiles by pointing where he's seated in the courtroom, please?
Yes. He has glasses, the light blue shirt. His hair is back. He's right over there.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, may the record reflect he's identified the defendant.
So identified, or so reflected, excuse me.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, at the time IS went missing, approximately how long had Naomi been married to the defendant, your daughter?
Probably about 5 years.
Okay. And ma'am, would the defendant be your granddaughter's uncle by marriage?
Yes.
Would you describe for the jury at first what kind of uncle he was to IS and if that changed?
At first, he was a good uncle. At first, he was a good uncle. He was teaching and talking, and he was a good uncle, a cool one.
At some point in time, did that change, and was that based on observations you made?
Yes.
How did that change?
As time went on, I walked into him. I'd seen him hugging her. He was like close to a lot of the kids, but he was closer to her.
Okay. And just in terms of big picture, was he around her often?
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
Of course. Just big picture, in 2018, was he around IS often?
As much as I know, yes, it was pretty much by his choice.
As time wore on, did he become more attached to IS?
Yes.
You describe that, please.
When I realized, when I walked into, I saw him hugging her, and he wasn't hugging her like you would a buddy, a pal, or a niece or nephew. He was hugging her like you would your spouse, your mate, or someone you're in love with.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you just saw. Was that in 2018?
Yes.
All right. And where did that take place?
At my daughter's house, Paula's, at one of my other daughter's house, Paula.
And was that at a family function?
Yes.
Was that at a family dinner?
Yes.
And is what you're about to describe take place in the backyard of this family dinner?
Yes.
All right. Was there a lot of folks there at this particular?
Outside, no.
That was my next question. When you walked out into the backyard during this dinner, how many people approximately were out there?
No, it was just me and my husband, and then him and her.
All right. And so the record's clear. So it was you and your husband, Michael?
Yes.
And when you say him, are you referring to the
Johnathan, yes.
And when you say her, are you referring to IS?
I am, yes.
Is this evening time?
It was.
All right. And when you walked out, will you describe the best you can, ma'am, what your eyes saw when you walked out there?
When he was hugged up, when he was hugged, he was hugged. His hands was around, he was hugged. They was in a full embrace. And when they see me, it startled him.
It startled him?
Yes.
Did he break loose from that hug?
Yes, he did.
Was that right when he saw you?
Yes, when he seen me.
Okay. Was your husband next to you when this happened?
Yes.
Did that cause you some concern, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Would you describe the type of hug that the best you can with your own words, the type of hug this was?
It was like a full embrace, like a full body embrace.
Did it appear to be a hug like an uncle should be giving?
No.
What do you mean by that?
Because usually about uncle, you hug higher, hug quick, move on. But that wasn't, they was attached. He was hugging her. He had an embrace.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Would you describe this hug as intimate?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Haynes, upon seeing this hug, did that cause you, at that point moving forward, did that cause you some concern?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you do about it once you saw what your eyes saw?
I spoke with her mother. I spoke with my daughter, Kimberly, her mother, and I said it might be a wise thing not to let him be around them by themselves.
And did you, don't say anything she told you, but did you tell her that you were uncomfortable by what you saw?
Yes.
Did you tell her that your position was that he ought not to be around the grandchildren?
Yes. Well, around the female, because around Iyana, and if he did that, females, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Can you give our jury an idea approximately when that?
Grandma, I wouldn't be saying, let's just get him out the family. He don't need to be around anybody. We could just keep him away from the females. Forget that. And welcome, Ann. Welcome. Glad to have you here. All right, let's get back to it.
That happened in 2018?
It was like right when it was around the Thanksgiving, it was in that area, because that Paula's house, my daughter's house, that's where we usually have a big Thanksgiving, then all the family, we meet there. And we was breaking up, we were dispersing, getting ready to go home.
Okay. And just so we're clear, that would be November of 2018?
Yes.
Now, despite moving forward from that point, and despite telling your daughter, Kim, what you told her, did you notice moving forward the defendant was still seeing his niece, your granddaughter?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
In my opinion, by this point, he knew Kim's schedule. And so Kimberly told him, she was trying to say, don't go around my children unless you get my permission. So he knew her schedule. So he knew when to be there.
Overruled. She.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I rewind just a pinch because I didn't catch something. Let's just rewind just a pinch. I want to hear what she's saying right here. Wait a minute. Okay. Denise said, I didn't see this one, but the grandmother had him under the rim of God to go straight to where he should go, under the needle. All right, let's get back to it.
Unless you get my permission. So he knew her schedule. So
Or did you notice moving forward the defendant was still seeing his niece, your granddaughter?
yes.
Tell us about that.
In my opinion, by this point, he knew Kim's schedule. And so Kimberly told him, she was trying to say, don't go around my children unless you get my permission. So he knew her schedule. So he knew when to be there.
Yeah, I did hear it right. You said don't be around. He shouldn't be around at all. He should have been banned from the family. This man got too many passes. He came around these kids young. He came in the family. He watched everybody. He studied everybody's behavior. He knew what he can get away with and what he couldn't. I don't understand how he was able to get these two girls and try to get the cousin. And the two girls got a father too. This man was so bold. He just knew everybody in his family, how they would react, what they would do, what not. He didn't think much of the father. The father didn't fear him at all, because if these kids' father would have feared him, if he was scared of them or scared of the father, he would have never did that. I'm just saying, these are my thoughts and opinions. I could be completely wrong. This is crazy. This is insane. And yes, please, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like. What is going on? Good people, to help out the content in the algorithm. Yes, hit the like. Come on, just hit it. All right, let's get back to grandma. This is insane. The more I'm watching this, the more it's just insane. Okay. And like I said, not today. Another time we're going to do the aunties. Aunties was on the stand. Let's see what aunties have to say. Resume.
Overruled. The defense made a motion, objection to speculation. That objection is denied. You may continue. I don't know where we were in the question and answer.
Yes, sir.
It got fumbled. You may want to restate the question. That way their transcript's clear. Doesn't stop you from raising the objection later on if you deem it necessary.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Your Honor. Ms. Haynes, once you advised your daughter, Kim, that the defendant should not be around your granddaughter anymore, what, if anything, did you observe that caused you continued concern?
Because he still would be around her. And I would see her around her. And this was even after her mother told her, but he was still around her.
Did you observe occasions where he was still picking her up from Terry Parker High School?
No, I didn't, because I was in a different part of my life. No,
All right. Were the occasions that you observed them together at Kim's house?
no,
Tell us where you observed them together moving forward.
at his house.
At Naomi and the defendant's house?
Yes.
All right. And did you see that on multiple occasions?
A few, yes, and yes.
Ma'am, as time progressed from that November 2018 time period when you saw the hug, did you learn thereafter that IS was pregnant?
Yes,
All right. And you're certain you learned that after that hug?
after.
Okay. And did that cause you even greater concern?
Yes,
Now, could you give the jury an idea of what was going on around the time the whole family learned she was pregnant? Were they trying to figure something out? And if so, what?
we was trying to find out who was the baby's father.
All right. And ma'am, did you have a good relationship with IS?
Yes,
Did there come a time period after the hug that you saw that concerned you and after you found out she was pregnant that you took her on a walk by yourself?
yes,
All right. And where did that walk take place?
that was around my house. They all came to my house.
And was that in between the Thanksgiving, November 2018 time period leading into December of 2018?
Yes,
Okay. Was the purpose of your walk to ask her who the father was?
just, I would like to talk with her anyway, but then, yeah, I did ask her, I'm like, well, is something that will embarrass the family? Because she would never say who the father was. I'm like, so I'm trying to understand why not, but she would not tell me.
All right. So with your question, were you asking her, is it someone that would cause shame and embarrassment to the family?
Correct.
All right. Moving forward from the walk that you took with her, just you and her, did it ever surface in the family who the father was leading up to when she went disappeared?
No, no.
All right. Can you give the jury an idea of, sort of describe your granddaughter, IS, what type of young lady she was?
She was very smart. That was my little lawyer. She had other dreams. She wanted to be a surgeon, but that was my little lawyer. Because I would see her work her way out of situations or, like get excused from school or well, because of this and this is this. And she would present her case until so she was my little lawyer. No matter what her plans was, she was my little lawyer.
Yes, ma'am. Did you know her to be doing well in school at that time?
Yes, she was very smart. She was taking a college course along with high school.
Can you describe the relationship between IS and her sister SS?
They was really close. As you know, they was younger. They had their own language between them. They was really close. Some people, if they didn't know one was older than the other, they would even think that maybe they was twins because they was really close. They had a strong bond.
Right. Did you know them to share a room together?
Yes,
All right. Did you know them to be around each other most of the time?
yes,
Did you know them to always get along well with one another?
yes.
All right. They have any major issues between each other?
No more than other children, but they was good children.
Would you describe them as close, like
Yes.
sisters that would share things amongst each other?
Yes,
Ma'am, moving again forward to December 19 of 2018, okay? Was that the day that Iyana went missing from Terry Parker High School?
yes.
Without telling us what anybody said, can you tell us how you were advised of that?
I found out from one of my daughters, and all of them was getting. Yana didn't come to school. She didn't come home. She didn't come home, and so all of us, I got her from work, and all of us started looking for her.
Let me ask you this way. Were you at work when you learned about this?
Yes.
All right. Where did you go from work the day that you learned she was missing? Where did you go?
To Kimberly's house.
Is that where kind of the family congregated?
Yes.
Was the family searching through her room?
Yes, searching everything that could give us any sort of idea how to find her. Where was she?
All right. And were you part of that yourself?
Yes.
I know that was probably an emotional time period. Let me ask you, can you give the jury an idea of the types of things members of your family were looking at in her room? Best
Her
you can.
computer, through her drawers, her clothing, dressers, through her book bags, through her phone, anything that we could find that was hers. We was trying to find it, and her mother was trying
I see you, Amber, and blessings, blessings. And I love what Purple said. No, was it Purple? It was Jones who said, I'm sorry. Happy Lord's Day. Yes, it is. Happy Lord's Day. And blessings to everyone. Everybody shout out where you from. You have to get in detail. Just shout out where you from. I'd like to know, what state. Or if you're out the country. All right. Let's resume. This is the grandma on the stand. Whoever's come in. This is the grandmother on the mother's side. And after this grandmother, I'm going to show the grandma on the daddy side. Resume.
To contact her friends. We're just going every way that we could.
And early on, around the December 19, leading into the next day or two, was there anything that led to her whereabouts during that time period at all?
No, nothing.
Was that very unusual for your granddaughter?
Yes, it was.
Has she ever run off like that before?
No, sir.
Now, eventually, the police get involved in the investigation. Is that correct?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you do with the information about that hug you saw about a month prior? Did you ever go tell the police that?
I spoke with one officer. Do you want me to say the name of I spoke with an officer. I think it was Milwaukee, and she asked me, did I see anything that was unusual, and I told her about the hug.
All right. And would that be Detective Milwaukee?
Yes.
It's okay. You just mispronounced it. Yes, ma'am. Was there anything else of concern that you shared with the police, or was that generally what you shared?
That was generally what I talked to her about.
And you had mentioned that you received a phone call the day she went missing when you were at work. Where were you working at that time period?
At Northeast Florida Safety Council.
What were your duties there, ma'am?
I was a DUI administrator.
As days wore on, did you continue with your family to continue looking for ways to search for IS?
Yes.
I'll drive around looking at different houses.
Just everything, but they was more involved because they knew more of, her friends. But no, I didn't go as far as that, but we would all talk about it. But
All right. Let me ask you directly, ma'am. These are some tough questions I just need to ask you to make sure our record is clear. Did you ever hear from IS again?
no,
Did you ever receive a letter from IS ever again?
no,
Did you ever receive any type of social media interaction, communication with her ever again?
no,
Have your eyes ever seen her ever again?
no.
Is there anything you could tell this jury that would give you an indication that your daughter is alive, your granddaughter is alive, ma'am?
I wish it was something that I could say. I have no idea, nothing, because we was a family that we would communicate, and nothing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. One moment, Your Honor.
Virginia Beach, New Jersey. What RV says that you shot? Yeah, RV. He tried to get the cousin too. I put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to, if they missed it, they can watch that. The commentary when I did with the cousin was on there. He was just going all around the family, getting all these little young girls, just watching them when they was little, playing around outside. Uncle Jonathan's gonna babysit us. Okay, go to Uncle Jonathan. Sick clown. All right, back to it.
Nothing further. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, ma'am, let's start with the hug. When you observed that hug, you said that it was Thanksgiving of 2018. Is that correct?
If that was the big dinner we had, yes.
Are you certain that that's the time period that you believe you saw it?
That was the dinner that we had, yes.
Okay. Do you recall giving a deposition in this case on June 5th, 2023?
I remember giving a deposition when, I don't remember the date, but I do remember
If I
giving.
represent to you that it's June 2023, that sounds about right. Is that fair?
Okay.
Do you recall me asking you during that deposition when you believe this hug to have occurred?
Yes,
Do you recall answering that it was a year before this case started?
that was in 2018.
Correct. So if the case was December of 2018, you would agree a year before that would be late 2017, maybe early 2018.
Then I was wrong in saying that because it was in 2018. Because the Thanksgiving, the walk, our dinner, she's gone.
Your Honor, if I may approach. I'm showing you what is a copy of your transcript of your deposition from June 5th, 2023. Do you see that reflected
Yeah.
there?
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind turning to page, so you do recall giving a deposition?
Yes.
Okay. And if you wouldn't mind turning to page 7 for me.
Can we go back to the podium for the question and answers?
Of course. Absolutely.
You do.
And ma'am, if I could direct your attention to page 7, line number 25. Do you see that there, ma'am?
I do.
If you wouldn't mind reading that line for me, please.
Out. Read it out.
Yes, out loud. If you, actually, in fact, what you could do,
Time out, time out, time out, time out.
I'm going to rephrase, Your Honor, if you don't mind.
Okay, hold on a second. You have something to say, Mr. Skinner?
Yes, sir. Objection, improper impeachment. She's already admitted it.
Okay, just legal basis.
Improper impeachment.
Sustained.
If you wouldn't mind, if you could just read that to yourself, maybe that might refresh your recollection. Do you believe that might do so?
You say read to myself?
Yes, ma'am.
Not out. Not out on the microphone.
Correct. And ma'am, if you could go through to page 8 through line 8.
Okay.
Have you completed that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Now that you've read that, does that refresh your recollection as to what you told me at that time period?
Then I was wrong on that time period because it wasn't 2017, it was 2018.
Right. When you observed this hug or embrace, however you want to call it, did you observe Mr. Quiles in any way touching IS in an appropriate way?
Yes, his hands was wrapped around her body. She was very thin, very skinny, little young, sort of like your size. She was a very thin young lady. He had his hand wrapped around her body.
Okay, was he touching her on the buttocks or in some other private area?
His hand was just wrapped around her body. When I seen him hugging her, I wasn't trying to follow, I startled him.
You just thought it was too close. Is that fair?
It was too close.
Prior to you walking out there, there was a big family dinner going on. People, from my understanding, they were leaving out. People were dispersing at that point. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so people were greeting each other or having final conversations before they left.
Most of the people was in the front of the house. They were going to their cars.
Okay. And when you said it was a big family dinner, you're talking grandkids, aunts,
Yes,
uncles?
yes.
Lots of people were there.
It was all about family, yes.
Okay, and people were all over the house. It wasn't just in one area. They were all over.
We was dispersing. Most of the families was going to their cars.
Okay. And you have no idea the conversation or anything leading up to when you walked out there. All you saw was a hug.
It wasn't just a hug. The
From your
way,
perspective, of course.
it wasn't just a hug. If I hug my children, it's one way. If I hug my husband, it's another way. It wasn't just a hug.
Right. And you distinguish those hugs based on what exactly?
I like the way she broke that down. Amber said Grandma knows what she saw. Exactly. What she saw. She does. Yeah, there's different type of hugs. You can tell a intimate hug, a friendly hug, a flirtatious hug, or a hug that's like, in a couple of seconds we're gonna be in the sheets. That kind of hug. So get out of here. Yeah, you know. Let's get back to it. And welcome to everybody that's coming in here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. And the people in the bushes, thank you for being here. And thank you for the people that's hitting the like. And if you didn't hit the like, hit it now. We on Grandma on the mother side. This is Grandma on the mother side. Resume.
One thing, his reaction. When I walked out and I seen him, he was hugging her. He jumped. I startled him.
When you say jump, do you mean like jumped up in the air, or do you mean they broke apart?
No, he jumped loose. He came loose apart.
Okay, so more so they broke apart part than physically jumping.
No, I startled him.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm just asking as far as when they broke apart, that's the part that you viewed as startling him.
Yes, he pulled a loose. He broke apart. Yes.
I'm just trying to make sure it's clear. That's the part that you observed to be startled.
Yes.
And again, just to be clear, you don't know anything of the conversation that happened prior to that. You only know what happened when you walked out and saw the hug.
They wasn't conversating.
Do you know that?
When I went out there, they wasn't conversating.
Okay, when you went out there was no conversation happening.
was
But you
not.
don't know what happened prior to you coming out there. Is that fair to say?
No, I don't know what happened prior to that, but they wasn't conversating. Not verbally.
When you saw them, they were not. But you do not know prior to that, correct?
I don't know. They wasn't, but when I seen them, they was not verbal.
Understood. After that, after you saw that, did you talk to IS about that at all?
Not that, no. I talked with her mother.
Okay, and when you talked to her mom, you said that you did or did not tell her about this hug?
I did not tell her about the hug.
Okay, you never mentioned this hug to her whatsoever?
No, I did not tell her about the hug. Matter of fact, today might be the first time she's hearing about the hug from me.
In fact, you never said anything to anybody about this hug that you observed and felt was so inappropriate until Detective Milowicki talked to you and asked you about Mr. Quiles. Is that correct?
My husband.
Well, you said your husband was there with you, so he also
was with
observed.
me.
Okay, so you never told anybody about this hug until Detective Milowicki asked you about Mr. Quiles. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you say you told your daughter to not let Mr. Quiles be around your granddaughters anymore.
I told her that he shouldn't be around them. She ought to monitor them, make sure she monitors them. He should not be around them by himself.
But you didn't give her any reason why. You
I
just
did not.
told her that generally.
Yes.
There was no further inquiry or anything like that.
No.
She just accepted that as it was.
She started acting on it.
To your knowledge, at that point, she did in fact tell, you were there, or you heard her tell Mr. Quiles or whoever that they are no longer allowed to be around Mr. Quiles alone.
No, she said it out, that the reason why I say she said it because he was around her one time. She said, I told you not to go around them unless I'm here. Don't come to my house and get them unless I'm here.
And you were there when that happened?
Yes,
Okay.
that one I talked with her, yes.
And that was when?
That was after, it was like around in 2018. It was between that, in the early of December. It was in the earlier part of December because I told her Thanksgiving was near the end of the month of November, and I told her. And it was one time he came around, maybe more, but he came around, and she said, I told you not to go to my house. I'm not there without me.
And you were physically at the house when this happened?
No, a lot of time I talk with my kids on the phone, and I hear the conversation. I conversate with.
Okay, so this is a
I didn't
conversation-
see her tell him. I didn't see her tell him.
You were not there at the house when this incident that you're describing, where you heard her say this is something that you overheard on the phone.
Yeah, her telling him. I told him not to go around. I told him because she was very angry about it.
And you believe this was after Thanksgiving, and on this occasion, you overheard this conversation. At that time, Johnathan Quiles was at your daughter Kimberly Mobley's house.
I don't know if he was at her house at that time, but she was telling him she don't want him around here if she's not there. I don't know if he was at her house at that time because he made it a point not to be there when she was there.
So tell me how you could have heard her telling Johnathan Quiles to not be at her house if he wasn't there and you also weren't there.
I talk with my daughter's on the phone. She was on the phone. One of my other daughters was on the phone. We communicate, and I hear her hollering. I told him not to come to my house if I'm not here. It was over the phone. I didn't see him when
Did
she.
you ever
came.
hear her say specifically Johnathan Quiles, or did you hear what you just said? I told him not to come here.
Yeah, she told him not to come there.
Did you hear her say Johnathan Quiles' name?
Oh no, I didn't hear her tell, but I knew she was talking about him.
How did
I
you know?
told John not to come to the house.
Okay, can you guys do me a favor? I know the tension gets high, but I need her to finish the question and before you answer, because we have a court reporter present, and it has to be an accurate depiction of what occurs. So just wait a hot second after the question, then you can answer the question, and she'll do the same thing to you when you respond, when you provide your answer, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Michelle, you may continue.
So my question was, did you ever hear her say his name in any way, or did she say, as what you said earlier, I told him not to come over here when I'm not here?
She said, I told John. That's what we called him, John. We didn't call him Johnathan.
All right. Outside of that, hearing that conversation about this occasion where she said, I told John not to come over here when I'm
Purple, you are so right. The wife Naomi didn't believe her sisters when they told her. She initially stood by her husband's side. Sure did. I'm still trying to figure out, because she said they have 2 kids together, because she was pregnant at the same time when he got IS pregnant. We're talking about the ex-wife. Well, now she's currently the ex-wife. And she said they have 2 together and he has 3. 2 with one woman and 1 is a possible. What's those kids' ages? But if I'm correct, when we was watching last time, they're younger. So that means he was cheating on you when he was married or dating and made these kids? Tells a lot about it. All right, let's get back to it. Grandma.
not here. Do you know any of the other information as it relates to whether he had been at her house, whether the kids had been at Johnathan and Naomi's house, or anything along those lines?
Anything but, because I don't want to say like hearsay. I know they all would go there repeatedly. So to say when I seen them anytime after that, I don't remember seeing them at his house after that. Yes, I do.
I was going to ask you this earlier on direct examination. You said you observed IS, at least, at Johnathan Quiles' house. Is that true?
Yes, when they moved to Trout, yes, she was there.
Do you know when they moved to the Trout River?
I'm not sure.
Okay, would April of 2018 sound about correct?
I'm not sure.
It was in 2018 that they moved
Yeah,
to the Trout River?
yes, around that time, because I know they told me I couldn't come there.
Okay. After they moved to Trout River Drive, this would have been, and I'm just talking specifically after the time period that you said you advised your daughter to tell them not to be alone with him. Did you ever see any of your grandchildren at Mr. Quiles' house?
Yes,
Okay, you personally saw that?
yes,
Okay, how were you in a position to see that?
okay. Her daughter, Jonathan's daughter, birthday came up, and I took a gift over there, and they was there at his house,
And when you say you took a gift over there,
to Jonathan's house.
and when you say they were over there, who are you talking about?
ISN and her sister,
IS and SS?
yes.
And they were at the house with whom?
John was there, and Naomi was there, my daughter, other daughter was there, and their baby was there.
And their daughter that you bring a
Yes,
gift
their
for was there as well?
Their daughter was there.
Okay, was anybody else there to your knowledge?
just Iyana, and his dad, his son, they was all there.
Okay, so there were many family members there when you, on the occasion that you saw SS and IS there were several people there.
Yeah, his father and his son.
Did you ever, at any point in time, ever have the occasion to see IS or SS at the house with John alone?
No,
I want to back up a little bit because I understand that a lot's happened. It's been a long time. Prior to this incident occurring, what was your relationship like with Mr. Quiles and with your daughter Naomi Mobley?
I thought it was good. When they first got together, he came to me and asked me, could he marry her? Like, as long as you don't hit her, I raised her, don't hit her. And they was good. I thought they was a good couple.
And did you and Mr. Quiles have a relationship, a close relationship?
I have to pause. Denise, you said something, great point. They really all failed these girls. Failed these girls. Especially IS. I believe she could have been saved if they all would have came together and had a conversation with him. I agree. And no one confronted together to scare him. That's what he should have did. That's a great point. We all need to talk. Let's have a family talk. What's going on? What's going on between the relationship with you and my children? Why are you around these little girls so much? What's going on? You're going to have to explain and tell your granddaughter, your daughter, whoever, talk. We need to talk right now. No one really did put their foot down. Because I don't understand how you're going to be in my home, my daughter, and you walk around here pregnant. You're going to tell me, you're not going to tell me who the father is? I want to know who the father is. You're underage. I have all rights to know. Who is the father? Who is this person? You're not going to send me on no goose chase. I'm trying to figure out who such and such. That's just me. This is my thoughts. I don't know. You might see it differently. Let me know. Share your thoughts. Ridiculous. All right, let's go back to it. That's a great one, Denise. Thank you for sharing that. Resume. And I hope everybody we learning from this. Communication is a key in any kind of relationship. Communication. Parents supposed to communicate with their children. Children communicate with your parents. Boyfriend and girlfriends communicate. Husband and wives. Friends, co-worker and employee. Everybody has to communicate. Communication. There was a lack of communication this whole thing. Everybody was just, I think, scared it was going to ruffle somebody's feathers. I don't know what it was. Grandma seen something. She tells. Everybody's like, oh, we need to stop. We all have to sit down and discuss this. All right, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let me read the poll real quick. All right, let me read the poll. I have 168 people in here and only got 58 votes. Oh, come on. Really? All right, let me read the poll here. Do you think the mother lacked in protecting her daughter? I already showed the mother. He's talking about the mother. 21% says, no way. 66% says yes. And 14% says, not sure. Okay, let's get back to Grandma.
For a good relationship?
At first, yes, we did.
And did you get to know him?
I just knew him as a son-in-law. I didn't know, I used to talk with him, hear him talk about a lot of different things, but.
And did you know him to be a fairly affectionate person?
Overall, yes.
So, for example, would he hug everybody, call them pet names, that type of thing?
No, I don't know about all that.
Did he call you Mama? Was that a name he gave you?
Yeah.
And he called you that?
Mom.
As far as your observations of his relationship with your grandkids, specifically Kimberly Mobley's kids, he had a good relationship with them. Is that correct?
At first, yes, yes.
And I believe you, at some point, you said that he taught them boxing and things like that.
The boys, yes.
And would you describe him as a good uncle?
At that time, yes.
And obviously,
Big time
the
groomer.
case might change things, but prior to this, you observed him doing normal uncle things, nothing out of the ordinary, correct?
Nothing out of the ordinary. He was normal.
Is it also fair to say that since this case has started, that may have tainted your view of some of the things that you saw prior to?
Even before this case started, yeah. I started noticing changes.
Okay. Would that have anything to do with the allegations and the accusations that happened around that time that said that IS's unborn child was Johnathan Quiles? The father of, father of her unborn child was
Could you
Johnathan Quiles.
repeat the question again?
What I just asked you was whether that may have tainted some of your view of him, of Mr. Quiles. You said yes to that, but my secondary question, follow-up question to that was whether that also was influenced, that tainted view of him, if that was also influenced by the allegations that have been placed out there that Johnathan Quiles was the father of IS's unborn child.
Your Honor, objection, form of the question, confusion, compound question. I was asking counsel to break that up. That's a lot.
Overruled.
You can answer, ma'am.
Okay, actually, one more time, I'm sorry.
I know the interruption sometimes can be hard, so I'll try to shorten it just a little bit. You said that your view of Mr. Quiles was tainted, right? So I'm just asking, was that also tainted because of the allegations that Johnathan Quiles was the father of IS's unborn child?
No, it started changing when I seen them hug, maybe just a little bit before, but when I seen the hug, that's when it started changing totally. It was totally changed.
Okay. And prior to that hug, you had never seen anything inappropriate between them, correct?
No,
Okay. So there was no reason for you to have any suspicions or anything. Is that correct?
no.
As far as Kamar Humphrey, did you know about the allegations of sexual battery that Kamar Humphrey did against IS?
I heard about it, and that's all it was. I heard about it.
Okay. You weren't a part of any of that process or anything like that, reporting or anything like that?
No,
Okay. And you didn't know him?
no, I didn't know.
And you never observed anything personally between Kamar Humphrey and IS in any way?
I don't even know who he, if I was to see him, I wouldn't know him.
Fair enough. And you said that you talked about a conversation that you had with IS. I believe it was around the same time period that we've been talking about this whole time, in the after Thanksgiving time period. You said you kind of went on a walk with her and talked to her about if this might bring shame to the family in some way.
Shame. I asked her, would it bring shame to the family?
And did she ever, and you don't have to tell me anything that was said, but did she ever at any point identify who the father was to you?
No,
Did she ever identify Mr. Quiles as the father?
no,
Did she ever at any point indicate to you anything whatsoever inappropriate happening between her and Mr. Quiles?
no.
Just a moment.
April, you brought up a good point when you said, but the mom didn't hesitate to prosecute the neighbor. I was thinking the same thing too.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into the other grandma. So enjoy the music while you wait, while I set it up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to get into the other grandma. Now, the grandma we're getting into is who we focusing on. This is the grandma on, if you want to know the names of everybody, look in the description and you get an idea. So I have the names of each person. All right, so this is the grandma on the father's side. So let's hear what grandma on the father's side have to say. So this is the first grandma. She walked out the courtroom, so they brought in the next grandma, I guess, on the same day. All right, let's hear what grandma on the father's side have to say. Let's get it.
Ms. Michelle, do you need your paperwork in the witness stand?
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Ware, good morning. Good afternoon, ma'am. Just watch your step over here to the right. Need a glass of water, so let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate you. You can adjust the microphone as necessary to kind of project your voice in the courtroom. if there's an objection made by an attorney during your testimony, I just ask that you pause, let me rule on the objection, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. State your main inquiry, ready.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
You introduce yourself to the jury.
Nancy Ware
And can you tell us where you live, ma'am?
in Georgia,
What city?
Columbus.
And who do you live there with?
Me and my husband, Clifford Ware,
All right. And how long have you lived there?
about 15 years.
And does that mean you were in Columbus, Georgia in 2018?
Yes,
Who is IS, Iyana Sawyer, to you?
my granddaughter.
And is that by your son?
Yes,
And is your son's name Willie?
yes,
Does your son Willie have another daughter, SS, named Samaya?
yes.
Will you first tell our jury and describe for us the relationship that you have with those two granddaughters?
I have a beautiful relationship with my granddaughter. We used to get them on the summertime, and I would take them to church and go to the beach and to the park and just have a family time.
All right. Would they come visit with you each summer, generally speaking?
Yes,
And when they came to you for these visits, how long would they visit you?
probably around June till about to the end of July.
All right. And that's typically.
Yes,
All right. And was it generally just the two of them that came to visit you and your husband?
yes,
Would your son sometimes come?
yes,
Anyone else?
no,
All right. And when they would come stay with you, would that be at your residence, your home?
yes,
Now, I want to direct your attention specifically to June of 2018. Did they come stay with you that month?
yes.
Now, as you develop your relationship with your granddaughters, did there come a time period where you set up any kind of account for them?
Yes, we set up a checking account for them.
All right. And what about a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just first talk about the checking account. Can you explain to the jury why you did that?
So we did something so they can have in their pocket.
All right. And did you do that for both IS and SS?
Yes.
Okay. And did those checking accounts, were they somewhat like a ride-along account with your account?
My account.
Okay. Were you the sole owner of that account?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to look at the records prior to coming to court today about that account?
No.
All right. Ma'am, I want to ask you, with respect to the amounts that you were putting into these particular accounts.
$25 every 2 weeks.
And that's my next question. How often would you put that amount in?
Twice a month.
Okay. And did you do that for both granddaughters?
Yes.
And was that for the purposes of just giving them spending money?
Yes.
All right. And can you give us an idea about how long you were doing that for each?
Probably about 3 years.
Okay. And would that be leading up to when IS went missing?
Yes.
All right. Obviously, you probably continued to give it to SS after that?
Yes.
Okay. You're on my approach, no, I'm sorry. Ma'am, I want to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 26 that has been admitted into evidence. Do you recognize this, please, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize it to be?
A checking account.
All right. This checking account, will you first tell us what's the name of the bank at the top of this record?
Navy Federal Credit Union.
Is that where you do your banking?
Yes.
All right. And is your name noted at the top of this account, looking at page 2?
Yes.
Does it have your account number on it?
Yes.
Does it have your granddaughter Iyana's name on it?
Yes.
Is the name of the account a campus checking account? The dates of December 16, 2018 to January 15 of 2019.
Yes.
Were you the account holder of this account, ma'am?
Yes.
Did you do this for both IS and as well as SS?
Yes.
Now, with respect to the cell phone account, did you obtain a cell phone for both IS as well as SS?
Yes.
Was that through the company of Verizon?
Yes.
Were you the sole or majority account holder on that account?
Yes.
You and or your husband?
Yes. Both of us.
Okay. And could you explain to the jury why you assisted them in getting them their own phone?
So that way we can just stay in communication with each other.
Now, the statement, the banking statement from Navy Federal Credit Union, did that statement come directly to your home address on a monthly basis?
Yes.
Did you continue to monitor that on a monthly basis?
Yes.
Did you continue to monitor that statement and account up until she went missing on December 19 of 2018?
Yes, I did.
Did you continue to monitor that account after she went missing?
Yes.
All right. Now, I noticed, ma'am, on that record that on 3 dates, specifically December 19, 2018, as well as December 31st of 2018 and January 2nd of 2019, 2 of those days after she went missing, you put $25 into her account?
Well, it was coming in automatic.
That was my next question. Great. So those 3 $25 deposits were made from your account
Yes.
to her account?
Yes.
And was that done on a monthly basis and or biweekly basis automatically?
Yes, automatically on the monthly every 2 weeks.
Now, I noticed you did not stop the $25 deposits after she went missing. Tell the jury why not.
Because I was having hope that someday she'll return back, and it would be soon.
Did you notice any account activity, any spending, any specific charges or transactions that kept occurring after she went missing on December 19 of 2018?
No.
Other than the random recurring charge like to an Appletoons monthly
Right,
account?
yes,
All right. Did you see that on this particular month I just showed you?
yes,
Okay. As time wore on after she went missing, going into January of 2019 and all the months following, did you ever see any transactions whatsoever on that account for IS?
no,
Now, ma'am, I want to direct your attention specifically to that summer visit between June and July of 2018. Did that particular summer visit end in the early portion of July 2018?
yes,
Okay. And sitting here today, is there any way you can tell us the exact date, or is it just early July?
early July.
Yes, ma'am. Now, when the two granddaughters, both IS and SS, left you, where did they go?
They went back home.
It was back home here in Jacksonville.
Yes,
And did they go directly there?
yes,
Did your son Willie take them there?
yes,
Ma'am, after she left your home in early July of 2018, did you learn thereafter that IS became pregnant?
yeah, back in November.
That was the next question. So first, just answer yes, you did.
Yes,
All right. Can you give the jury an idea of what month you learned about that?
she told me in October.
All right. Try not to say what somebody else told you. Let me ask you this question. When you learned that she was pregnant, did you take that information and pass it along to somebody else?
Yes,
Who did you tell?
I told her father.
Is that your son?
Yes,
Did you tell Kim, her mother?
I asked Iyana to share it with her mom,
All right, that was
and
my
she
next
did.
Okay, that was my next question. Did you specifically tell IS to tell her mother?
Yes,
Did you learn later that she did?
yes,
Did it surface in the family in that November time period to the rest of the family that she was now pregnant?
yes,
Now, with respect to that cell phone account, did you continue to monitor the monthly statement and or monthly charges even after she went missing?
yes,
Did you monitor that account all the way up until approximately a year ago from today?
no,
Tell me about how long you monitored that cell phone account after she went missing.
I think till January
Of what year?
2019.
Okay, all the way back to that time period. Was there anything that you ever saw on the cell phone account that indicated there were charges being made on that phone, transactions being made on that phone calls being made on that phone, anything of that nature?
No,
Did you have any sign of her ever again on either account?
no,
Ms. Ware, did you ever, after she left your home in early July of 2018, did you ever see IS again with your eyes?
no,
After December 19 of 2018, have you ever spoken to her again?
no,
Ever received any kind of letter or any communication whatsoever from her again?
no,
Did she ever text you or somehow try to contact you, DM you, direct message, any social media, any way whatsoever, try to reach out to you in any manner or any capacity at all?
Objection.
no,
Hey, hold on, the objection's overruled.
Now you may answer, ma'am.
no.
One moment, Your Honor. Ma'am, prior to us pulling the records, would you happen to recall what phone number your granddaughter's number was on that Verizon account?
I don't know it by heart.
Okay, if you saw it, would you be able to say, yes, that's her number? We're gonna pull it up in 1 second. We're now showing you and placing in front of you, ma'am, State's Exhibit 27.
Just had it a second ago. Describe your information. Okay. Hold on. And the number is down here. So show her that one. You can show her. Wrong one. So many things open. And then go to call. It's not that one. I know. I just had it up too. Here it is right there.
Take the
1993.
search off of the jurors.
Say, do you mind unpublishing?
Yes, Your Honor, it's up the page that we're after.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you see that on your screen? Did that come up on your screen? You see what we're all looking at?
Yes,
If you look at the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to read out 10 digits to you, 904-293-5139. Does that sound familiar to you, ma'am?
yes,
Is that the phone number for your granddaughter on that Verizon account?
yes,
And at the top left on line 2, do you see your name attributed to this account, Ms. Nancy Ware,
yes,
under the letters C and D?
yes,
I'd help refresh your memory with respect to your granddaughter's phone number.
yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Defense.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'll wait till Mr. Skinner is seated. No, you're fine. All right, ma'am, I just wanted to start by asking you, I know that you gave some testimony on direct examination, so I just want to follow up on a couple of things. As far as you can remember, IS told you first that she was pregnant, correct?
Yes,
And you recall informing her that she should tell her mother.
yes,
You yourself, you don't remember being the one to tell Kimberly Mobley that IS was pregnant.
no,
Okay, you did, however, tell your son.
yes,
Did at any point IS indicate to you who the father may be?
no,
Did she ever eliminate anybody and say, I know for sure it's not this person or anything like that to you?
no,
Did she ever tell you that her father, the father of her unborn child, was Johnathan Quiles?
no,
Did she in fact tell you that it wasn't Johnathan Quiles?
yes,
Now I want to talk a little bit about that time, around that time period when she went missing. You guys actually had made plans, or at least discussed plans, of her coming to stay with you.
yes,
And that was because she felt like she wasn't going to have the support that she needed after telling everyone that she was pregnant.
yeah, she had asked could she come stay with us.
Okay. This is before she let anybody know that she was pregnant, is that correct?
Yes,
After she had let at least her mother know, she still wanted to come and stay with you, is that correct?
yes.
And is that just because it wasn't received well that she was pregnant?
Well, she was just really scared.
Understood.
Ladies and gentlemen, you listening? Let me know if I'm catching this right. So, she wanted to live with her grandmother on her father's side. So things wasn't too well over there. Interesting. Is that what I'm catching here? Let me rewind just a little bit. Yep. I gotta rewind. I want to hear this. Okay. Okay, let's get it.
Yes,
And is that just because it wasn't received well that she was pregnant?
well, she was just really scared.
Understood. And she tried
Yes, yes,
to have the support that she needed after telling everyone that she was pregnant.
yeah, she had asked could she come stay with us.
Okay. This is before she let anybody know that she was pregnant, is that correct?
Yes,
After she had let at least her mother know, she still wanted to come and stay with you, is that correct?
yes,
And is that just because it wasn't received well that she was pregnant?
well, she was just really scared.
Understood. And she trusted you, and she had a good relationship with you.
Yes,
And you guys were close, you obviously talked about these things, and felt like she could confide in you, correct?
yes.
Was she pretty truthful with you as far as you know?
When it came to the pregnancy, she didn't tell me. She just didn't tell me who the father was.
Right. But in general, she was pretty truthful with you.
Yes,
Outside of her not identifying exactly who it was, everything else you believe you talked to her about, she was truthful about.
yes,
Now I want to talk to you about the debit card that we were talking a little bit about, or that you talked a little bit about with Mr. Skinner. That debit card you set up for her and that you were putting money into, she was using that from time to time, correct?
yes,
Okay. And on the day that she went missing, were you, well, maybe it was after, but whenever it was, were you at some point asked to check her credit card usage, or debit card usage, sorry, to see if she had made any transactions?
no,
Ma'am?
no,
Okay. Did you yourself do that?
no.
Okay. Did someone check her debit card transactions at some point?
They may have, I just don't remember.
Okay. Is it to your memory, and if you don't recall, it's okay. Do you remember at some point being asked about a transaction at a Wendy's?
Yes,
Okay. And was that from the day she went missing?
yes,
Okay. And I know it's been a while, so I can understand that the memory might not be clear, but now that I've kind of asked you that question, do you recall checking her debit card and confirming that she had used her debit card at a Wendy's the day she went missing?
can you repeat that?
Yeah, of course I can. I know I asked you about the Wendy's, and you kind of seemed like you were coming around to it and remembering that. So now that I've asked you that question about the Wendy's transaction, do you now recall that it was you who checked her debit card usage and saw that she had a transaction at Wendy's the day she went missing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. And that transaction, I know that you don't live in Jacksonville, Florida, so you yourself didn't do any further investigation into that.
No,
But you did let Kimberly Mobley know about that transaction?
Yes,
Okay. And as far as you know, was that ever followed up on either by Kimberly or someone else?
I'm not sure.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Were you made aware of accusations of a sexual relationship between Johnathan Quiles and IS prior to her going missing?
No,
So you never heard anything like that until after she went missing?
right,
That's correct? Is that a yes?
yes.
All right, thank you so much. That's just for the record. I'm not being rude by any means. Just making sure the record's clear. And as far as her cell phone goes, I know you said that you monitored that until about January 2019, so maybe like a month or so after she went missing?
Yes,
Okay, and then after that, did you guys discontinue that phone number or?
yes, we discontinue it.
Okay, and that was something that you and your husband were paying for,
Yes.
for her to use?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. One moment, Your Honor.
All right, Purple says, I don't know, but maybe because she knew it was Uncle Nasty's baby. Uncle Nasty, I like that, I like that. Uncle Nasty's baby, and she would be able to hide the truth by living in Georgia with Grandma. Yeah, you have a point there, because I couldn't say why you want to go over there to Grandma so far. All right, Miss Brenda, you, wait a minute. Oh, you talking to her? Okay. Let's resume.
Nothing further.
Any redirect from the state?
Very briefly, Your Honor.
Ma'am, do you agree that the records I showed you in States 26 would reflect accurately when the Wendy's transaction occurred, the bank records themselves?
Yes,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ma'am, good to see you. Have a good rest of your day.
thank you.
Okay. Hold it just a second. Gotta have some music on. Okay, that was all the clips I wanted to show. But let me read what Denise said. Miss Brenda, you caught it right. Now that goes with the attention I was speaking on. And it seems that she wanted to get away from him as well because he had started talking crazy to her on Snapchat. Yeah, that was like he was getting, really controlling and violent. Could have been. Might have been scared. This monster. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was all the clips that I wanted to show today. I wanted to show the mother. Well, at first I started with the father, then the mother, then the mother's mother, grandma on the mother's side, and grandma on the father's side, to hear what they have to say. And the next one I will be doing will be the aunties. We're going to watch the aunties. All right. Where was her pops at? Well, I just showed the clip. That's the clip. That was the first one I showed, was the father. Green. So if you want to see the father, what he had to say on the stand, that was the first one. All right. And what this queen says, it would be a Blair Witch trial looking for the monster that did this, but it's abuse to make a child go through childbirth. Not dating, also a choice. Michelle said nothing. And welcome, Michelle. Blessings to you. Denise says, oh, if y'all can hear, that's the rain. It's coming down hard over here. Oh my gosh. I meant to say, Miss Donna, not Miss Brenda. Oh, okay. Okay, got you. All right. Miss RV says probably where the rest of the absentees' fathers were at. Okay. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Girl, isn't this crazy? The more I'm seeing these clips, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, what else? Leah says, wait a minute, where am I at? Okay. That's so sad. I can't stop crying. This whole thing is sad. This monster came into their home and just changed everything, messing with these little girls, grooming them since they was 5, 6 years old. You sicko. Well, they got you. You can't do it no more. Yeah, everyone hit the like before you leave out of here. Hit the like. If you didn't hit it now. Okay, what am I up to? Great points. Forgot the Snapchat convo. She should have been scared all the way around. I would like to know what was her response to him in the Snapchat. They only played his. They didn't play hers. Her side. I don't know why they did that, but oh well. I'm just curious. All the way. Then we really know what was her mindset when she was with him. Ooh, this rain is coming down hard. Y'all hear it by the window. All right, let me end this here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold it just a second. Okay, ladies, I'm going to end this stream now. Sorry about that one. I'm going to end it now. So thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody for engaging. Thank everybody for hitting the like button, sharing your thoughts and opinions. And stay tuned for some more of Donna Just Being Real, because we're going to get into the aunties. Hear what aunties have to say. And feel free to check out my past commentary. I did a couple of live streams on this, so you can look back at the past commentary to catch up on what you missed. Everybody had this as a blessed one and a great one. Have a great work week next week. Stay tuned for some more. Bye.